I think we are. Hello, YouTube world. We are on Patdees 72 channel, and guess what, folks? It's ladies' night.
Right.
We have hijacked Pat's show.
We're taking over.
Yes, we are. My name is Kimberly. My YouTube channel is Borderline Hoarderish, and I am here with the beautiful Anita Funita.
Hey, everyone.
Just us girls. I wonder if everybody in the chat is trying to figure out what is going on.
Yeah, they're all wondering where's Pat? Where are the guys?
We kicked him out.
We're thinking about bringing them back. We don't know.
I don't know. Maybe we should. Why don't I see who's here in the chat, and then we'll decide.
Okay.
I see Rebecca Kruger's here. She says, first, what's up, my sister from another Mr. Swamp Picker? Hello, Glenn. How are you today? Stephen Straight, welcome. Anita Funita, who is on the panel. She sells by Sue. Hello, Sue. What's up, John Nevermore Antiques? And that is all I see so far. Do you think we should bring the boys back? I don't know.
Let's let the people decide. Should we bring him back? Guys, what do you think?
Yeah, what do you all think in the chat? Or should it should just be us?
We can do it by ourselves too. Well, it feels wrong without Pat's, considering we probably should bring him. Yeah. Okay, Pat, you can come in.
If you want to. I mean, it is his show.
Oh,
we have Eric, Nameless Picker. Hello, Eric.
Hi.
You're looking beautiful this evening.
You're part of the ladies. You're ladied up all for us?
Yes, my daughter made this hat.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Looks nice.
Yes, it does. I see some more people are rolling into the chat. Hello, Mike. Hello, Mr. Turtle. Joy Be the Difference Clothing. Carla, Grandma Wrinkles. Money for Mars. People must be getting the notifications now because there's quite a few rolling in here.
Right.
Except for the house. Oh, wait, we're taking it over, I guess.
Now we have Turtle Trader. Thank you for coming in. What the Hails? Hello.
What the Hails? Hello, Jeremy. And George, I hope you all are doing awesome.
And Valerie's here too.
Hello, Texas Val.
Oh, we have. Oh my!
Oh, we have Jason Banana Five.
Who's this lovely lady here?
Why, please, person with the beautiful, is it pink, salmon colored hat, maybe?
I love the hat.
I love it too. That would be Banana Fine's our friend Jason. How are you today, Jason? You ready for ladies' night?
I am ready for ladies' night.
The girls are back. We ditched out last week.
Everyone except Pat's here.
I know. What is going on?
Yeah, what
Where are
happened?
you?
Pat.
We can do the show without Pat.
Yeah, I think so. I think we can handle it.
Sure.
But I don't know if the stream will last if he's not here, will it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have no idea. I mean, StreamYard is newer to our world.
It's different. I don't know. I know that with Google Chats, there's a certain amount of minutes, and then after that, if the person whose channel it is, it'll. Oh,
Here we go.
we don't have that problem.
Oh, ta-da!
Hey, Pat.
Oh, look, he looks all manly too.
Well, I was going to say that I'm the only normal guy on the show tonight, but
You can't say that with a straight face.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's ladies' night, so we just got to go with it. But I was running a little late. I don't know if you guys heard in Manhattan, they're having a blackout. So my internet connection, that's the excuse I'm going to at least use tonight if I have issues. So what's going on? I set up this StreamYard, and this will be the first Saturday show, late show that we're doing StreamYard as a group, and I get booted out when the girls hop on. What's going on?
We're magic.
Yeah, we did some magic. We wanted to be on first.
Yeah. because the ladies are back.
Mhm.
So you have complete control of how it's presented.
Yeah. That's what I was
Yeah.
going to say. It's happening by itself, or are you doing it?
You know, I have control.
Wow.
Me and Jason were fighting before the show over the pink hat, but he won. You know what I mean?
Right.
I love it. It's a great color.
Yeah. Yeah, it's his color, definitely.
When I first was setting up the show, I wasn't sure which one was Nameless Picker and which one was Borderline Hoarderish because they're both blonde. And it is late at night, and I've had a long day. But
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I went to bed this morning at 5 o'clock making food, and then slept about 3.5 hours. And came home and took a nap after my son's graduation party. But I needed the 3 hours of sleep. So,
Yeah.
Kimberly, how many people are in the room? It looks like 37 right now. Are you seeing that on your end too?
I have my chat popped out, so I'm not sure where it shows this way.
Yeah, where do you see it? Do you have YouTube open out as well?
I do.
I
And
do.
I
It's
don't.
37.
37. Nice. I know that more people rolled in.
Yeah, thumbs up, everyone. We have Mike in the chat. I saw
Chris roll in there. Liquidation OH. He was
Yeah, he wanted to come on the game show last night, and I realized it about 5 minutes in, and I sent him a link. He must have fell asleep because I never heard back from him.
I don't know. I mean, he's the man. He's Twilight Chris. He's a vampire. He doesn't sleep.
Oh.
Maybe he got a lot of rest from because I think he was just saying earlier that he just got back from vacation.
right.
Yeah, and he's been busy focusing on getting product more than YouTube lately.
Did we say hi to Melissa?
Melissa.
Melissa, our new night bot. She's doing a better job, though.
She does a better job than Nightbot.
We appreciate you, Melissa.
Hello, it's Pat the reseller. All kinds of good people rolling in. CJ.
Be the difference.
Cliff. Yeah, that'd be Joy. She was the guest for our Thursday show that Destiny hosted this week. The Shamrock Pixie. This upcoming Thursday, Pat is actually hosting. And who's the guest this week, Patrick?
Who is it?
We're getting a little audio. Everybody have their YouTube muted?
Yeah, I don't have it.
It sounds like a speaker's too loud. That's usually what makes that noise. If somebody has their sound a little too loud.
We can still hear the young lady with the pink hat with his her mad typing.
Hitting those keys.
I think it's Anita's speakers are too high.
Let me see.
Anita, your speakers might be a little high.
Yeah, I'm wearing earbuds, so it shouldn't.
Okay,
Yeah.
Is it good now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to give you a hard time because it's ladies' night, and I don't want to get removed from the stream.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah, like we do that. He's going to have control,
I'm back. Anita, you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to threaten me. I'll behave if you want. You want to play big rock speakers in the background. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't notice it.
Yeah, everyone looks very pretty tonight, including you, NP.
I try. And I was busting his chops, I think, behind the scenes last week that we have to dress up for Halloween, and he wasn't having none of that. So he's surprised. He's already changed in a week. So by the time Halloween comes around, you never know.
Yeah, he's gonna be the one with the most elaborate costume.
That's right. He's gonna dress up like Jason, and Jason will dress up like Eric. So what is going on?
I want to hear about your day, Pat, because I know that your son had his graduation party today.
Yeah, well, like I said, we were up to 5 o'clock last night making food, and you're not owning the restaurant no more. You have to do so. Luckily, we live 2
2 miles away from the fire hall, and we were running back and forth, dropping stuff out there. You know, trying to squeeze. You know, it used to be nice because you had a walk-in cooler. Now we're trying to squeeze everything into a little fridge. But we got there. I got there this morning, and while I was there this morning, I said, "Oh, let's test out the camera," and I did about a 30-minute live of me cooking sauce and sausage and peppers and ziti and all that. Yeah. Hey, that's what happened. He got a year older this week. Eric, the nameless picker, and happy birthday to you.
Oh, happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
It was funny.
And he's still smiling.
My brother calls me this afternoon. Jason, I was going to hang out with Jason. My little brother calls me. He's like, and I think he's watching tonight. He's actually starting to get into eBay, and he was actually watching Bearded Picker. And he's like, and Scott mentions me. He says, "Hey, it's Eric's birthday this week," and he's like, and it reminded him that it was my birthday. So that's the only way he knew to call me.
Oh my goodness!
So appreciate it.
No, I think the absolute best was I can hear him talking to his brother, and like his brother must have asked him, "What YouTubers should you watch?" And he's going off names like left and right. Not once does my name come up at all.
Oh no!
I got to protect my sources, man. I'm not going to give away all my secrets.
So every YouTuber was mentioned except you.
Pretty much. Get around to it eventually. After I kept hearing, I'm like talking here. I'm like, what about Banana Findz? What about Banana Findz? What about Banana Findz? I had to say it eventually. So
yeah, 20 minutes later.
Yeah, the next day. Oh, I forgot to mention.
Oh, Anita, I like the big cat.
Oh, thanks.
That's cool.
Mike is saying,
Jason, keep your eyes up here, Jason. Eyes up here, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the cat. Yeah. Now he's watching.
They made me mess it up.
It's not a cow.
There you go.
Floppy.
Hey,
That's amazing.
Anita, now last week we missed you on the show and stuff, and you guys had some weather out there in California, right?
Yeah, it's pretty hot here right now. It's really hot, and then with the earthquakes, we had another one yesterday morning.
Yeah,
so, but it wasn't as strong. So we're having, the hot weather, and on top of that, earthquake after earthquake. But it's the biggest one we had was that 7.1, I think it was, or 7.3. But we haven't been as strong yet. But we've had a lot of ones that are smaller, like multiple ones, which I don't think we've ever had that many earthquakes back. But we're hoping it's going to go away. It's going to stop soon.
Now, was there any damage in your area at all?
No, there was none. No, none reported.
No. Okay. So everything is all right on your end then? Just a little nerve?
Yeah, just the shaking, and then even when you don't get scared, you get a little bit of anxiety. You get a little bit of anxiety and then while it's happening, when it passes the 30-second mark, you start getting nauseous too, because it's like so you get seasick as it's happening. But other than that, nothing really, no damages and nothing happened.
Yeah. Though, I mean, the weather, it just seems to be on the big on the news lately anymore. I think Louisiana is in supposed to get 10 to 20 inches of rain in certain parts. I know they were talking about Glenn, swamp picker, about evacuating, and Tiffany lives in Louisiana too, and she had to evacuate. I don't know if Glenn is still in the room today, if he can let us know how everything is doing down there. We kind of take for granted where we live that it does. Now, I don't know if it's going to swing up towards the East Coast. Jill, good night, everyone. The show's only been 15 minutes, and you're already going to bed?
She has to get up in a couple hours.
Jill, you just came in.
Yeah. Well, you know why? Because it's ladies' night, and us guys ruined it. Well, I mean,
she's got a flea market she has to open up at 5 o'clock. So.
Okay. Now, where do you know Jill? Where she's from, or?
No, she just put it in there. The flea market opens 5 to 6 a.m. So.
Okay, yeah. I haven't been following all the chat and stuff. So, actually, I mean, I have a busy weekend after doing. We
We stayed there till about 6:30 cleaning up after my son's graduation and stuff. And I had to keep smiling because my oldest son backed up to the door and hit a rock and blew out one of my tires. I heard something. I said, "What are you doing?" I just blew out the damn tire. I'm like, "Oh my God." I said, "Just park it over there." And then my other son went home and took him and got my other car. So there it's sitting. I got to deal with that in the next day or two and get it towed or
they have this weird thing called a spare tire.
Well, we have the spare in there, the donut, but I only live 2 miles away from the my house, the fire hall is. So I was like, I didn't even want to be bothered with it after the long day. And as soon as I came home, probably within half an hour, I was sleeping, and then I got up about 9:30, 9:45. So I took a 3-hour nap, and thank God, because I would have came on either with a goofy looking hat or a wig too. You know what I mean?
Oh, so Jill lives in New York.
Who? Oh, she does? Okay. I was thinking New York, like New York City. Actually, I mean, I had a busy week because if you guys follow my channel, last Monday I went live. How many cars do you have hanging out at home? 4 or 5, but none of them are the greatest. So I got 4 or 5. One of them I got to get rid of because the engine went. So why? You want to buy it? I'll sell you a used car if you want to sell parts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we saw you on the bus.
Yeah, I was on the bus for 2 hours. I did that just to kind of also test it, and then we went to wrestling that night. Tomorrow I'm going to actually meet up with Chaz. I don't know if you guys follow Side Hustle Network. Chaz and Trista from Washington. He's flying in the Spartan, and so, and then he's doing a meet and greet and stuff like that. So he's going to be in tomorrow night. I'm going to be meeting up with him. This is the first time we've done this show with StreamYard, but there has been a couple issues that we noticed from the background. There's about a 25-30 second lag between. So it's funny because sometimes what happens is people are typing in the chat, and it's sometimes not matching exactly the words at the same time. So there is that slight lag. That'll have to be maybe something that StreamYard's going to have to kind of do. But yeah, it is a little confusing as far as that. So I'm not sure. Jason, you called me up the other day and talked about you doing anything this weekend, or are you still recovering from your auction find the other day?
I am still recovering.
Well, you were working it today, though.
Yeah. No, I'm working a little bit. I got like, I don't know, maybe 40 drafts done so far.
You actually got stuff listed?
Well, drafts, they're getting there.
Yeah. You got to understand that the Jason method is to draft 200 or 300 items and then drop them all in one giant auction. So
yeah. So I was at the auction and I bought it was an online auction. And I bought, what was it, 97 lots?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Somewhere between 80 and 90 lots, I think, or 80 and 100. I can't remember. It was funny because it was 2 auctions. The same company actually was running 3 auctions that night, and I was bidding in one auction for Jason, and he was bidding in the other auction. So we're kind of doing a hangout bidding in the auction for him to buy stuff because you can't do the system set up. You really can't do both auctions at the same time for the same person.
So when you do the drafts, do you also have all the pictures ready and everything is just ready? You just need to put it up?
In an absolute perfect world, that is the best way to do it. But I do it completely opposite.
Oh, so those pictures are the last thing.
You remember how you used to list like back in 1998? That's Jason to this day.
So, yeah. I mean, my goal is to make drafts for every single item I bought and then go back and take all the pictures and then launch it all at once and launch like 200 to 300 items probably in one shot. So, for me, it's like, I'm not like shipping all the time and stuff like that. It's kind of, that's just the way I like to work.
Whereas I like to take like 20 or 30 or 40 items worth of pictures and then just create the listings as I go.
Yeah, that's what I do. I take the pictures and then do the listings. Or Jason does the listings and then the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a theme. I do everything
Yeah.
opposite of what every reseller does.
Right. Well, it's working for you, so it's good.
I guess.
Whatever works.
We'll get him. We'll bring him into the 2005 here pretty soon, I think. So
We'll see.
we'll see. I don't know. We've been trying for like 3 years. So, although he did finally did some listings with best offer. I think that's the first time he's ever done that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you get good offers? Or-
No, it's not going good so far.
I know people send it when they see that and you don't have like a reserve price or a price that you want specifically, they'll send you some ridiculous offers.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, there weren't any ridiculous offers, but just, you know, a couple that were okay. Like, and then, but the majority of stuff just didn't have much interest so far. I don't know.
Yeah, it's newer stuff. I mean, for you though. I mean, I had a guy offer me like $7 for a $70 item, and I'm just like, no thanks. And then he came back and hit me at 20, and I'm like, dude, you're not even. I mean, it's $70 on sale. You're not even close. So, you know, but he's not making the offer. He's sending me the message. So I just said, I can't. I sent him a message back saying, I just can't take it at this time, that amount. He's like, well, you know where I'm at if you need to sell it. I'm like, yep.
Yes, I do.
Sitting on the eBay, on the computer waiting for me to sell it to you, which I'm not going to do at that price.
You should have said, yes, you're on my block list now.
I mean, it doesn't even do me the favor of making an offer through the offer system, so at least I get some visibility from that.
Right.
So, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people get offended sometimes. I had a guy send me an offer, and I replied back that we're not taking. And I didn't realize it, but I said we're not taking offers on that. Oh well, can't we send you an offer? Like he got offended, it's telling me I have to basically take his message and take his offer through that. And I said no, it's buy it now and that's it. It was a knife. It was like a buck knife that we sell for like $79.95. And I can't take no best offers because I sell those for a sporting goods store that I'm friends with, and I don't make that much off of it anyways, and I still know what they pay for it, but these are brand new knives. I told them, if you're looking to save money, look for a used knife. I said, they're out there, but I said, this is brand new in the box. It's guaranteed by Buck Knife, you know, and I can't do it.
Yeah. But you had the listing as offers? Is that why he sent it?
No. He just contacted me through the message system, eBay, and then when I told him that we're not taking best offers, he got like I was being a jerk and got offended and said that he could do that. I'm like, oh yeah, you can do it, but we don't have to accept it.
Yeah,
right.
I mean that's the thing. I mean, you don't have to accept any offer they give you, and that's fine. I mean, I don't turn down many offers because most of the offers come in at a decent rate. Every now and then you get the guy that or person that just says, you know what, this is the best it's going to be, and you're never going to sell it that way. Okay. You know what? The work's done. It can sit there for 2 more years. I don't care.
I still don't get it. I'm not in the habit of devaluating my stuff.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why I don't do the make offers to watchers or the make offer to buyers, as eBay likes to call it, because I'm not going to negotiate with myself. You know, I put a price out there. If someone wants to make an offer, they can make me an offer. I'm open to offers, but I'm not going to send an offer out lower than my asking price already. Right. That stinks of desperation, if you ask me. You know, and I'm not desperate to sell. If somebody wants my stuff, they're watching it, they can make an offer.
Now, none of you guys sell on Amazon at all, because I know they keep talking about Prime Day. That's going to be like in 2 or 3 days. No one sells on Amazon besides me, right?
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah,
right.
I was doing it, but I've been kind of slacking on trying to do much with it. I need to though, but not like eBay. For sure.
Well, they're talking. eBay is going to even do specials, and there's other the counter kind of and stay within that sort of get that free advertisement. So I wonder if we'll be busy. You know,
the problem is when Amazon goes on Prime. I mean, Walmart's is basically matching Amazon Prime. They're doing it a day early. You know, you have to kind of think about are people going to be shopping online, or are they just going to be purely shopping Amazon, Walmart, and it'll take away some traffic? I mean, I don't really care because, like I said, that's new stuff. I don't sell new stuff.
Right.
You know, if someone wants my stuff, they can come buy my stuff. They don't, that's fine. Spend their dollars, on the new stuff, and they get a deal. That's fine with me too. If they save money there, maybe they're going to buy some of my used crap.
But they won't buy anything with an attitude like that.
That's right.
I might use crap.
That's right. I use crap.
Well, he's not the salesman. He
I don't have to sell it. It sells itself.
exactly, and that's why he's called the Nameless Picker.
How many people have a Corvette concept car brochure?
Right.
There's not many of those out there.
There you go. What the hell? Maybe you can buy that for George.
Corvette. This is for the Corvette rotary motor that they never produced. They made one car in 1973, and I have the 4-rotor and the 2-rotor brochure. Find stuff like that. If you find it, be my guest. Now that the value that has been sold recently hasn't really been sold a whole lot, but it's still out there. I mean, I went to an auction Friday, and that's where I bought a lot of stuff Friday. So, the guy was a Corvette fanatic. I mean, he had amazing stuff.
Hold that. Where I'm just testing behind. Hold that up. I want to see. I put you on solo, and see how that. Okay.
See.
And
now, what's on the opposite side? Oh, okay.
It was a Gullwing Corvette, mid-engine, which they're just now. The next Corvette they're making is going to be a mid-engine Corvette, and you got this right here. But the key is right here where it says 4-rotor, right there. And then the other one,
is there a year on that, or just?
Yeah, they only made the rotary engine, and this is the 2-rotor one. And the writings on the plastic, so it's not on the thing. But
okay,
and the rotors refer to the Mazda rotary motor. So there's a guy in. It's actually referred to as the $1 million Corvette that GM gave away, because they gave away the whole thing to a guy because they said there's no value, there's no motor in it or anything like that. So they gave it to a guy. And he restored it back to the thing that's worth like $1 million now. And there's a guy, it's like in South Carolina, something. It was just shown this year at the Amelia Island concourse back in April. I was actually supposed to go to that, but ended up canceling out on it. So, but stuff like that. And I got a bunch of car magazines, a bunch of other brochures. Just cool stuff. But if somebody wants the stuff, that's the stuff that I have that nobody else has. There's none.
Yeah, if you have one of a kind stuff, you shouldn't budge on the price. No.
Yeah, they're sold. I think in the last 10 years, they've sold like 6 times. So, according to WorthPoint.
Hey, Jason, you want to share any of the stuff that you got, or is it all top secret, bud?
Oh, this is like a show and tell now?
No, not show and tell. I'm just saying that. Did you buy tools? Did you go over to the Eric side and buy some paper?
The online auction was all tools.
Oh, okay.
Right, except for one item. I bought some speakers, but I forget what they are. But
now you came up into the Lehigh Valley because Jason had reached out to me, gave me like about an hour and a half notice. But hey, you want to meet me? And I'm like, that's about how far I live, about an hour and 15 minutes from the place. And we were we went to turn on the furnace, and we didn't have no hot water. So I was waiting for my son to go and get some off-road diesel so I could bleed the line to fire up. And I said, I'll let you know. And then took him about 40 minutes. It was just too late. I would have got there probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours after Jason.
It would have been the greatest thing. All he had to do was put the stuff into the truck. They actually brought it right out to him. So it was the easiest unload up ever. So
wait, and all 4 of Pat's cars weren't running either that day.
Well, no, it's not the issue of running. I still got to take care of the the wife has to get up and do her hair for an hour in the morning. And if I don't have hot water, you want me to say hang out with Jason, or the wife have hot water to do her hair?
Well, so you could have got her a nice hat.
It's hard to do your hair.
Yeah, I mean, it's ladies' night. Don't forget. I mean, I know how to treat a lady.
Mm-hmm.
So
anyway, yeah, I mean, I did get some good stuff. I could show a couple of things.
Sure. And I'm going to put you on solo, so make sure the hat's correct and the makeup's correct.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm good.
There you go.
All right. So
looking good. Mm-hmm.
We got this little neat. This is the one non-tool, I think. It's a little pencil sharpener, I guess, in the box. Isn't this cute? I guess she's spinning to sharpen it. I really haven't looked at this thing, but it's neat.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got this guy, which is a little hand crank. The handle's down here. I got to attach it, and it's a pinking machine for sewing, stuff like that.
Wow, you find the strangest.
Well, I hate this format because I can't see anyone, but I can hear you.
You're the one presenting on the screen right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So I got this cool little bicycle wrench, and this is a pretty rare one. I think I looked it up. It was like $70. And then I got this other one that I didn't look up yet. That it's kind of neat. It's also a there we go. It's also a pocket knife.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
then old school drill, brass, little egg beater drill. Vintage bit brace. That's kind of cool.
Wow.
Now, what is that, Jason?
This is a bit brace for drilling into, wood.
Oh, okay.
You have to drill at the end, and then you crank it.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Then we got old school tap wrenches. These are the real early type. And let's see. Oh, this is neat. Little mallet or maul or whatever you call it, and stamped B&O Railroad on it. So that's kind of cool. And lots of other stuff going around.
Have you looked any of that stuff up yet, or not yet?
No, not really. Not the stuff I showed you.
The B&O Railroad we looked up should be about $40 to $60.
Oh, did we? I don't even remember.
Yeah. That's the only thing I remember. We looked it up.
Yeah,
But we didn't know it was in there. It was bought in a lot of hammers, and it was, I don't know, maybe $10, $15 for the whole lot of hammers. So
I got a couple more of these antique gun vices too. So these are about 50 to 100 a piece.
Now, what they're gun vices? I don't know what they are. So, if anyone else in the chat,
What's
called
a
a
gun?
it's called a mainspring vice for a black powder gun.
Yeah.
The mainspring is a little spring that goes like this.
It's stamped US.
They're probably like 1879, 1865. I mean, right in that area there.
And that's just like a little tiny sample. I have most of it at the warehouse.
oh, speaking of the warehouse, did you get your air conditioning fixed yet?
When I left on Friday, they started working on it. So it should be done. Should have been done today, actually. So
Oh, that's good. Oh, they worked on it Saturday.
yeah. Yeah. So thank goodness, because when I was working, getting all this stuff organized on Friday, it was 88 degrees in there. I'm hanging out with Eric. He's like watching me sweating to death.
He was a trooper. You stayed, what, 7 or 8 that night?
Yeah. It was a long day.
Yeah, it was a long day because I had to get up early, go to that auction, and then fight through that thing. That was pretty hot. It was like 85 degrees out. So
How far do you live from each other?
8 hours.
Yeah, Jason lives closer to me in Pennsylvania, and Eric is in Ohio. Hey, now, you ladies started the show tonight. Did the guys introduce everybody? You guys kind of had me blocked from coming in. So
Yeah, everybody got introduced and everything.
Yeah.
The whole gambit. Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Patdees 72, and you're on the Late Late Show. I sell stuff on eBay, sell stuff on Amazon. I do Instacart. So I do a lot of things. Jason, why are you rolling your eyes at me, buddy?
I'm not going there. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's just nerve. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't see rolling eyes either.
Thank you, Anita.
I was focused. I was just focused on him because that hat is kind of drawing me in. But thanks, Melissa, for coming in. She's another one that is doing her flea market and
she's always in chats and stuff like that. Hey, Joy, how you doing? I apologize if I'm not saying hello to everybody. I'm in the back trying to watch everything. And like the guy said, it's amazing because I'll go to YouTube and all of a sudden and even on my end, because the computer is slower than if I had the iPad, so I get that extra 5 to 10 seconds delay. So it is a little confusing kind of keeping up with both ends as far as that. So Kimberly, what's up? You're so quiet today. It's ladies' night. Why are you not? You not talking?
Because I'm tired. I stayed up a little too late last night. I can't do it. I'm gonna turn into a pumpkin. No, I don't know. You were chit chatting. My day. Would you like me to tell you about my day? Wasn't
Yeah.
really that exciting. So I cleaned the couch. Woohoo! And Lily got her Poshmark set up, and she was really excited because what she ordered came in the mail. Her little
Oh, sorry, Pat.
polymer bags she ordered. So that was one thing we did today, which is pretty cool. Oh boy, Pat.
What did he do now?
I don't know. He disappeared again.
I think I
I
accidentally
think he's
deleted
just
it.
doing it on purpose, popping in and out. It makes him appear.
Well, he put a be right back thing in the chat. Or
Oh, did he?
So
Yeah, he can still see everything that goes on, even if he pops out. Even though he's being the great and powerful Oz right now.
All that power.
All that power, right?
Right. So how'd you clean the couch? You said you cleaned it, or you
Oh yeah, I was. The animals are shedding like crazy, so
just vacuum it?
yeah, I was vacuuming it. I have a shark, and the bottom part of the shark broke. The shark vacuum a few months ago, so I had to get. It was silly to buy the part, just the one part. I ended up getting just a whole new one, and then I swap it out. Clean one, because really you're supposed to with vacuums keep up on them. And
buy the
they'll
part
last
on
a lot
eBay.
longer. Huh?
Why don't you just buy the part on eBay?
Well, it was I don't know, the brush part, but it worked out. What I'm gonna do is sell the extra parts from the other one, just not the actual motor part of it. I'm going to keep that part. And then, of course, the part that I took that was broken, which was the whole bottom section of it. Like the hose snapped, and I don't even know how it all happened, but I got a lot of use out of it. I had that shark for quite a couple years, and
you're happy with it?
Oh yeah, I love it. I highly recommend a shark, even for basically cleaning everything. I mean, I do have animals.
What do you guys
do a really good job. I'd rather get a shark over a Dyson, and that's coming from somebody who used to own a cleaning business, and I would clean huge 10,000 square feet houses in a day, or more than one, depends on how long. And so I vacuumed a lot, and the shark is the way to go. The thing with the Dyson is you really have to keep up on maintenance, and the more you use it, the more you need to, like, if you use it every day, you need to be cleaning it every single week, pretty much. But I am interested in some of those vacuums that they have about how the hair's not supposed to stop up the brush, because as you all can tell, I have a lot of hair, and that's usually what kills the vacuum.
The same issue, Kimberly.
Yeah, I know. You're looking mighty pretty tonight, Eric. You too, Jason. I love that hat. I wear that hat.
Mine is too.
It's out of my wife's collection. She doesn't know I borrowed it. So.
Uh-oh. I hope she's not watching this show.
I hope not. She's out of town. She's at the Jersey Shore right now with friends.
What's he doing there with my hat?
This is what happens when you leave me home alone.
Oh, that's funny. What's up, Tommy? I see Tommy the Bargain Effect has entered.
So, Kim, I missed
Where is Pat?
Kim, I missed it. Did the couch actually get cleaned, or?
Yeah.
Oh,
it did. It's one of those like micro suede couches, and I love it. It stays. It's pretty easy to clean.
Those are good. Those are kid friendly. That fabric.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. The bottom part of it is leather, which is not cat friendly to my cat, but
yeah. My kids. I need to find
Oh,
that's kid spilling juice proof.
Yeah, there's a few things that I won't.
Yeah.
I like to get a lot of things for free. A lot. I am all down for driving the alleys or, looking at the marketplace or even Craigslist for free stuff. But a couch is one that I will not pick up. So it was bought new. I
Yeah.
did buy the couch brand
So I
new.
bought my couch at for $5 at an auction.
Nice. I haven't
It's
been
nice
to
'cause
an auction in a minute.
It's aluminum and leather. I mean, it was steel of the world. I mean, it's been
That's
in fantastic shape.
awesome.
And it was the craziest house. I go to this house and I'm like, okay, your couch is downstairs. I'm like, great. Like, that's gonna suck. It's like, no, you can actually drive around. They have a driveway that goes down underneath the house, and there's a big garage underneath there. And then you go into the hallway down here, and you had to go down like 6 rooms underground into the theater rooms where they had the couch. The guy never used the couch. It was in brand new condition. And so we towed this thing out, and everybody's like, we didn't see that couch in the auction. How come you got that couch? What'd you pay for it? I'm like, $5 or like.
That's amazing. That's that's a steal of a deal right there. Couches do so. When my family owned the consignment shop, couches were one of the best flips. Really, one of the fastest ones that would go in and out was couches. But you got to be able to number one have the space for it, to store that kind of stuff. If I ever get back into big furniture again, I'll probably rent out a little section of a consignment shop from those connections that I've kind of made before. It's another way to get rid of things. I don't have the space for a lot of that stuff, but couches did really well, and dressers was
And you're creative. You know how to paint and draw.
I did. So I used to know. I bought the car before the car I had before the Subaru I have now was actually a Subaru too. It was a Subaru Outback, and I bought it all strictly from stuff that I had sourced from the alleys. So it was like bed frames and dressers, and I would either sand them down and restain them or paint them because I was using that.
Work on that presentation because it sounded like you bought it from working out of the alley. I'm just saying. Perhaps we should say I bought it.
I know, right in the alley. I call it Curbco is the fancier name for dumpster diving or driving the alleys of in Inglewood, which is on the opposite side of town. It's like an older community where there's a lot of those small alleys, and that's where the trash,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like real small,
through trash picking instead of.
It's Curbco. Curbco. We used to call it Curbco. It was fancier than the back alleys. I know it sounds all like what.
Dressers and nightstands and things like that do really well if you can buy one, sand it down, paint it an elaborate color.
Yeah, and even if you get it and you can put it on the Facebook Marketplace. I mean, and it also depends on where you live too. But I live in Denver, so it goes pretty quick. I can get rid of a dresser usually in a weekend.
Right.
All I'm thinking about is it was either Friends or Seinfeld when they got the couch off the curb, or it was a chair and they brought it up to their place, and all of a sudden there was like a raccoon or something in it. Everyone freaked out. I forget what show that was. That was fun.
I think it is Friends. That sounds familiar.
It's Friends, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I know one of my dad's friends does that, where he gets big pieces of furniture and he has the space for it, and he puts them down, paints the red. He actually he said the best-selling color right now is pink.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, paints dressers pink with gold trimming.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, when you like with storage unit auctions, that's what people are buying storage units for. Is they're trying to buy the furniture out of there because they know that's the best value that you can see in a storage unit when you buy it. There's a lot of money in the smalls and things like that, but you can't see it. So a lot of the pricing of the storage unit is based on what can a dealer get for that furniture.
I agree. Yeah, totally. I agree to that. I haven't got a storage unit in quite some time. Let's see, a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I got it the last time I got it was before my last heart surgery, and I was kind of on a restriction up until just a couple months ago on lifting anything over a certain amount of weight. from my elbows up, and a lot of that big furniture, you really have to kind of, have it. You can't really, I mean, unless you want to break your back, I guess. But I might get back into it. I've been watching a few of the auctions. I just know that it's a lot of work, and so I need to get some other things organized and get Poshmark going better for Lily. She's already bossing me around. She's like, Mom, I'm more. She hasn't even listed.
She's at that age, yeah.
She's all, I'm worried that you're going to take over my store. And I'm like, listen here, kid, if you're going to fire me on the first day, I'm going to start charging you rent.
Here's the electric bill.
And she's 14, and I'm so proud of her for doing, all the stuff that she's done so far in it, because I told her, I'm like, I don't have time to do this. I'm willing to help you and to teach you and even to learn myself, but I want her to run it. She's going to have to do it, and I know that she could do it, but she's got to do it, and also keep in mind that her number one job is school. No, it's not Poshmark. It's school. And so I'm curious to see how well she balances, doing that. And I'm glad that, I'm teaching her that. My mom, I got a job at 14. I worked at a drag racing track here in Colorado, Bandimere Speedway. And I was grateful for that because my mom taught me, taxes and how to budget things and to take a certain amount of percentage and set it to the side. And so I'm trying to do that with my kid.
Did she decide on a name yet?
Yeah, so she went with what I think it was Gina that suggested it, but she went with Lily's Posh Pad. I thought it was cute. I'm like, that's pretty cute. And she's pretty excited about it because Lily's her name. And so I'm happy.
Did you give her like the startup merchandise then, or?
So she already has stuff of her own, and then also I have in the past purchased clothes and stuff like that ended up sort of in my money pile. I don't really like to call it a death pile, and I haven't done much, so I just passed it on to her. And then I also know Rebecca Cruder, one of my best friends, is going to also help her out and send her a little bit of inventory. She's like, that is so cool. She's like, you have the greatest friends, Mom, and which is true. There's a lot of really awesome people. So she's excited. We'll see how excited she gets when she realizes how much measuring there is. But I mean, she wants to be an architectural engineer, so she's a numbers girl.
It's good that they know that it takes a lot of hard work to make money.
I know, right? I mean, I give her a hard time, but I really, truly am so blessed with such a good kid. She's been on the honor roll quite a few times. It's like 12 or 13 times or something like that. She's about to start high school, which is a little scary.
Oh boy.
I know, right?
I was the mom that was parked in the front of the school.
Well, last year, my
kid,
he was like, I mean, Braden is 8, and I was walking him into school for every day and picking him up inside of the school every day until about a month and a half, maybe 2 months before the end of school. And we pull up, or we're driving, to go to school one morning, and he looks at me and he's like, Mom, I don't want you to walk me into school anymore. What? He's like, I just don't. Wait, you're gonna be okay?
So you didn't have the line, man. The chicks don't find this very cool anymore. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, he told me that I give him too many smooches in front of all of his friends. I'm like, whatever.
My daughter said she doesn't want a backpack anymore with a character on it.
Oh,
like Disney characters and stuff. She goes, no. I'm too old for that.
And then she goes to college and she'll find out that she wants the character backpack again to remember her youth.
I know, right? Here I am trying to buy everything Hello Kitty.
Yeah, and I wanted to get her Hello Kitty this year. And she said she wants a solid color.
Oh,
yeah.
Color.
No characters.
No characters.
Not on the pencils, nothing. No characters, yeah.
How they grow up far too fast. I see Tommy says Sizely could be her best friend. Yes, I am aware of Sizely because of your wife, actually, Destiny. She's the one who told me that many moons ago when I called her up one day, like hysterical, because I was so tired of trying to take the 50 million measurements of some clothes. And she's like, why are you taking so many? And why are you making it all hard? You just need these. And
Kimberly, can you explain that? What that is exactly?
well, I'm not the best to explain it, but I have it's like a
I
template.
never heard of that terminology or what that is.
From what I know, because I just printed out some templates of it, but it's template of clothes where, it shows you what measurements you need to take. So it was
Okay.
helpful to see that you needed, like for shirts, to take armpit to armpit, or collar to sleeve length, and then from the top of the collar right here all the way down the front. So that was helpful. I was doing far too many, and I just needed to kind of simplify it. So it was helpful, and also on the visual. And then everybody knows that people like to ask 50 million questions. So I always tell people it's good to give all those details, because then it's going to be less time, even though there's going to be people who don't even read it and still ask you that. But you're at least going to eliminate some of those questions. And, time is money. Time is money. Work smart, not hard.
And is that only for the like the shirts that don't have the sizes, or like let's just say something says size medium, you still have to measure everything even if it has the.
So I do, only because I think there's a lot of things that are not accurate, like different companies. I mean, I'm sure that you guys all probably experience that. I don't know how bad it is for men compared to women, but
Yeah,
I just
the men-
find it vary depending on the brand and where it's manufactured.
See, men are smart. They just use inches.
right.
Oh, it's a 34. Is it a 34 Calvin Klein? No, it's just 34. It doesn't matter,
Right? Yeah.
For us, there's women's, juniors, misses, petites. They're all different. Yeah.
Which is why I have never had luck selling women's clothing, and so I don't do it anymore. So.
It is a little, and women more times than not will be the ones that are going to return something over the men. Even if it doesn't fit, they're more than likely more times.
Yeah, they'll toss it, or they won't wear it, and they won't
Or
return it. Yeah.
30 days that you're allowed.
I have nothing, no clothing item except for baseball hats and a couple of ties in my store. Everything else is gone.
Yeah, I look for ties. I don't know enough about ties. Every time I think of ties, though, I think of the flipping hustler. He's a tie guy. And he's always trying to teach people how to tie the ties.
The only ties that I have listed are ties that have interesting patterns or characters or stuff like that. And I tell you, car ties are the best.
Really?
You get these classic car ties, Ford, anything classic, Jaguar, MG, something like that, you'll get the best money for it.
Right, yeah, and the size of ties. I mean, anything that I could chip and I could put in the blue box, the little, mail box outside of the post office, is even better. That's just another, couple of minutes that I save from going inside. So odd numbers, years. Yeah, it's confusing, the size.
And I'll bet you the ones that are buying those car ties are the ones working at the dealerships.
Mm-hmm.
Dealerships, or they're like car show guys if you got a classic car.
Yeah.
And so, they'll pay top dollar too. I mean, most of the ties I sell that are like that sell in the $40 to $50 range.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to go to the car show and show off their brand loyalty or whatever, and they do really well. But they're harder to find. You don't find them. But the good thing is, it doesn't matter about manufacture on those. They just want the image.
Right. That's good to know that it's a visual thing for sure. I can actually see why that is. Anytime I see any type of pattern really that somebody or something that's on somebody, I always comment on it. I'm like, so I make sense on the tie thing. That's the ones I tend to look at. But again, for me, time is money, and I'm not saying that there's not money in ties. I just like to stick with things that I know, and then slowly dabble, into other things, and eventually I'll learn. Just like for tags, you look at enough tags, and you just know what's vintage and what's not. And there's a lot of good fakes out there, this whole kind of retro, making it look to be old. But if you've been doing it long enough, you kind of are seen enough. And if you don't, that's all right. Research it. That's the best way to learn.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just starting, there's nothing wrong with clothing, especially if you're just starting out. The price entry is not terrible. If you don't know, you've got time, you can grab it, throw it in your cart, and then just, take some time to research it if you've got a good signal. And then you can put it back if it's not worth, X amount of dollars compared to what you're paying for it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a great way to learn the business. It's just not a great way to make a lot of money.
Right. And especially when you first start, starting with things in your house is a great way to, get started and not have to spend any more, money. You really don't need a whole bunch of money behind you to start at least eBay or even Poshmark. Amazon, I think you need at least a little starting. There's
Amazon. You really need. I mean, let's be honest. You really need $2,000 or $3,000 of disposable income to start and to make Amazon a viable business. Because that money is going to sit there and float. You're gonna buy stuff. You're going to get profit off it. Then you're going to turn around and buy more stuff. You're never going to see that return back for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it on the cheap, but you're not going to build the business that way. So I mean, if you're going to do Amazon, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's hard to do cheap.
Yeah, you have to have startup money and then the patience to wait for it.
Whereas eBay, like I said, eBay, you grab the crap you got laying around and you throw it up and sell it. I mean, eBay is a great way to build a bankroll. So,
right.
Yeah, I think that even with all the kind of crazy,
I'll be right back,
that you have to check, it's still, I think, worth it.
And with clothing, I think when it comes to clothing, it has a lot to do with how you're presenting it to in the pictures. I went through people's closets and purchased things because they had it, and I imagined myself wearing it because of how it looked on the mannequin, that they put it with accessories and a vest over it, and they say the item is only this item that's selling, and I did purchase it because of how it looked on the display.
Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about the visual aspect behind Poshmark and the fact that you don't have to necessarily have just a plain background. So I think it's going to be cool to kind of use that artistic side and be a little creative behind it. I told Lily the best thing for her to start out with, because we don't have a mannequin. We don't have a great big giant photo area, that we need to start smaller and she needs to start with the shirts first.
You don't have a hanging mannequin?
No, we don't.
She can also wear them. I've seen people actually wear them, wear glasses so they don't know who it is, wear really big shades, and put on a hat or put their hair in a ponytail and put their pictures.
Yeah.
Cool too.
What is that? A giant breath mint or something?
Flower tonight.
Why does he have a donut around his head?
This is his collar because he had surgery yesterday.
Oh.
So he's got to wear the collar. So we had the big plastic cone of shame on him, and he hated it.
Oh yeah.
Amazon came through with this 1-day shipping, and he actually can lay down and sleep with this.
That's cool. I didn't know they had things like that. Those cones are just ridiculous, and they all, like, every dog looks so pathetic in it. They actually
it attaches to his collar, so it won't move or anything. And it blows up. You can pull it off and clean it.
Cool.
And they put those, I think, so they don't scratch it. That's probably.
So he's got a drain in his side right now. He had surgery on his stomach. He's had a couple of growths removed, and so he's wearing a t-shirt to keep from dripping everywhere. But he's having a little trouble today. He's also whacked out of his mind on pain meds and sleeping pill and antibiotics and everything. So he's just having a little trouble today.
Oh.
He was crying a little bit. So
Poor guy.
I had to take the hat off because he didn't recognize me. I walk around the corner. He's like, "Who the hell are you?"
Now who's this?
Hello, Nathan, Redneck with Resales and the Shamrock Pixie. We were talking about her. She was in here. Mary Beth is also in here. Mary Deals.
Hey, Mary Beth.
Destiny's giving me a hard time. What I've been doing, and I stepped away a second. I just was looking at. I went on YouTube and was looking at the lag in between, just to kind of see what the difference was. And this again was our first Saturday show that I decided to kind of use StreamYard. It has its benefits as far as being able to do the graphics and do some of these behind the scenes, but Yeah, I do agree that maybe the lag is really the main issue.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
the biggest
as far as
complaint.
that.
Well,
Yeah.
I can tell you this right now, watching you on the screen, Pat. It's kind of like one of those 1970s Chinese martial arts things.
Well, right, because we're listening. We're what we see behind the scenes. The chat matches up, but then if you try to use that chat and follow YouTube at the same time, don't forget us doing the show. We see different than what the audience is seeing. So I just been kind of playing around. Don't forget is the difference between Google Hangouts. The camera is always focused on us. So I'm getting some people like, oh, smile, smile, smile the whole time. Don't forget when you're the main screen talking, it would be highlighted on you, and then it would bounce to somebody else. So we kind of got to be, I guess, conscientious of it, that whatever we're doing or doing things in the back, that it, no matter what, the camera is always on us. But I'm sometimes just following the chat on the side, so I'm not sitting here looking like a clown smiling the whole time. So that's what. Nothing's wrong with me tonight. I'm not in a bad mood. I had a 3-hour nap after the graduation party. It's just me basically testing how it looks. Everyone's got to keep in mind when somebody's a host and doing the show. These people, Anita, Kimberly, Jason, and Eric, give their time up. And you gotta let them talk, because sometimes people are like, oh, I can't do all the show is not just about me. So, I try to be conscientious of that, is to bring on people that share the same values and things that we're doing and share their stories and stuff like that. So, there's times that, Kimberly was quiet probably for the first 20 minutes there. And then the last 20 minutes, now she's talked and she got her second wind and stuff. And you sit back and then you enjoy the conversation, and that's it. So just basically testing and playing around with how the sizing works. What I don't like is if you highlight something and if see how it covers Jason and Eric. So what happens?
We just see their hats.
Right. And I don't think that. Yeah, but you don't want to have that up there too long like that. So here, I just want to show you the difference, how that looked. So again, it's just playing around. I do take it serious as far as what we're doing. I'll be honest, last week, July 4th, anyone that was doing YouTube, their numbers are down as far as views. But for us, last week was the most watched show for me since I've been doing YouTube. So there was the average viewer watched the show for 40 minutes. So that was an all-time high. And last week's Saturday show, even though we didn't have the girls, we still had, it was the most watched show. So just trying to be conscientious of all that, what I'm doing on my end. I'm playing around, popping some of the chat up in there. And these are things that only the host can control. So even if the other panelists on, they don't have the ability to kind of help me out with that. So I just, nothing's wrong, Tommy. Everything's fine. Again, just playing around with the layout and the format and stuff, and trying to make Kimberly look even prettier.
I like this layout. I just, the only thing I don't, not about the layout. The only thing that's not good is the time. Where it's not.
That's right.
Other than that, the layout is nice.
Yeah, that's really all I see.
Right, and YouTube spike for us during July 4th long weekend. Jeeves too. Yeah, see now I was talking to Scott, the bearded picker. Maybe it just depended what you were doing, because he said that he felt like that week too was a little slower. And I know the week before certain things. I mean, I know someone could say, "Well, you got to make good content." I think what happens too is people have so much time. People on vacation, or they're watching certain things, or
come on, it's the summer slowdown.
There you go. Actually, I'll tell you, you talk about that. My eBay sales have actually picked up, and I'm selling a lot of older stuff that I had listed 3 or 4 months ago. The only problem is I put a better system into place now that I can find the stuff, and some of that older stuff that was listed, let's say even 5-6 months ago. We had done some stuff in the basement, so sometimes I'm having a hard time finding it. Now, I haven't had to cancel anything in the past probably 3 weeks, but I just sold something just recently that in between bringing all the stuff in the garage, some of the new stuff, I'm going to really start upping my listings and start really getting more focused on that part too, because why get the stuff and load up the garage if you're not listing? You can't sell it if you're not listing. And
yeah, that's what I was talking with my brother tonight, because he's just, like I said, he's just getting into it. He's done it in the past, but he's getting back into it, taking it more serious. And that was one of the things I told him. I said, you've got a chance to start and set up everything from the beginning. So you need shelving, you need an inventory, you need pictures, doing everything that you basically do instead of doing it piecemeal. If you start from the beginning and set up right, then it's a whole lot easier down the road, as opposed to my first inventory system, I didn't even create until I was like 450 items into it, and that's a pain to go back and then re-inventory and figure out how you're going to do it all, as opposed to setting it up from the beginning. So, see, I don't like the chat under the screen at all. It's very distracting.
Yeah. I kind of agree to a point. That's why I try not to keep it on there too long. I guess that part is from a person doing a show, is just to kind of get the people interacting, the viewers and stuff like that. But I do know what you mean, because even, I'll be honest, we get distracted if we do a private chat in the background sometimes, and you're trying to read it and you're in the middle of a sentence or something like that. You're like, okay, and then you got to get right back on what you're talking about and stuff.
Yeah, like I said, it kind of throws you off. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to set up, if you're going to do these things, set up and I mean, I hate to say it, but try to be a professional seller. I mean, try to make sure that when you sell something, you know where it's at. It's no big deal to go and grab it. If you're, but especially if you're new and you can set it up from the beginning as opposed to trying to figure it out. I mean, can you imagine if you had 3,000 items and you didn't have an inventory system?
Look at it this way. At least the customer can't see you going around on all the shelves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not perfect by any stretch of imagination. I've got 7,000 items in my store, and every now and then I pull it up to go ship it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, there's no inventory number on it. I got 65, 70 bankers boxes I got to search for to find this thing now. And that's when I'm like, oh my, that's why I have a couple days extended handling now, because it's just. I want to be able to go find it and not have to cancel it or figure out to go get it from somewhere else. But, it's kind of, you got to do it right from the beginning. And if you do it right, life is so much easier. It's just less time you're spending hunting and finding. You actually get back to doing it.
Time is money.
You're not walking
Work
around.
smart, not hard.
Where is it? Where is it?
Well, it's not even that. To me, it's more of I'm more mad at myself because I know I have a system in place and why didn't I do it? And it's, it's like, now it's going to take me a half hour to an hour to go find something where I could have found it and had it shipped and ready to go. And now that's another half hour, an hour of time that I don't have to do somewhere else. And then it puts me in a bad mood as well. Now I'm kind of, going through stuff, finding stuff. And then I kind of mess up what I'm doing because you're like, okay, did I touch that box or not? So you got to figure out exactly what you're doing. It's those little things that just make your day go better.
I particularly enjoy it because I'm sitting there, in the Hangouts watching him go nuts. Start.
Yeah, you can hear me in the background, like, where the hell, son of a.
Well, it's good. If you start from scratch, that's always a bonus, because you can start your system just from this beginning.
Yeah, I mean, if you're new or you're starting from scratch, that's fine. There's nothing wrong. But like I said, you just got to do it. I mean, however you have, if you have it on shelves, just shelf 1, shelf 2, shelf 3. Anything you can do to narrow your focus down. Because I make like when I put a banker's box, I just put a number on the banker's box, and it just says R17 for that box. My numbers and letters, they mean nothing. There's no order or anything like that. They're just what they are. And so I know that if there's 30 things in that box, so I'm only looking through 30 things instead of looking through 3,000. That's the goal right there. And then it goes on a shelf, and then I don't have to worry about it.
Well,
unlisted stuff can go willy-nilly, obviously, to wherever you want to put it at. That doesn't make any difference. It's when it's listed and you finally got it ready to go, and you got to be able to grab it.
It's easy to set up an inventory system. The hard part is being diligent about it and consistently using the inventory system.
That is the truth of it. You gotta, every time you create a listing, you got to make sure you use that custom SKU for your inventory system, however you're going to do it. I know a lot of people put it in the title, You don't need to do that. That's the worst place to put it because that's taking away characters you might need for description. So, mail yourself.
I agree to getting a inventory system going in the beginning. Now, if you already have, stores set up or you're selling and you have not done that yet, don't get scared and just never do it. Take it little bit by little bit. I've had this conversation a couple times with people, which is why I mention it. People get so far into it, they get overwhelmed. But in the long run, it's better to just do it, and do it, container by container if you have to, redo it or to even keep up with it to make sure that there aren't things that maybe got out of place. But it is better in the long run to
number them, organize them. Yeah.
Yeah, eBay has been known to delist items. So if you've got an inventory system, you go and I grab R17, I pull up and I search in my active listings by R17. I should have everything in that box. If I go through that box and there's stuff that's no longer listed, I pull it out. I can sit there and say, check again. Okay, it's not listed. I didn't put it in the wrong box. eBay's dropped the listing for some reason.
Mm-hmm. And it does happen, yeah.
That way then you can go get it relisted. It frustrates you, but you don't have 50 items sitting back in your inventory you think is listed and it's no longer there now.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want me to crazy card, believe me. But you just got to do what you got to do to make your business efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a business that's so easy to get distracted. And I was going through magazines tonight, and I'm sitting there taking pictures, and I'm reading the articles at the same time because they're really cool car magazines. And Jason's like, "Stop reading it and get it listed." I mean,
yeah, he's like a drug user using the product. You're not making any money. I mean, the dealer, right?
That's funny.
Car magazines from the 1950s, and they've got what's really really cool is when you open it up and there's there's articles about Ferraris, and this has got the Studebaker Commander article in there and stuff like that.
I'm the same way as you, Eric.
I mean, as I told Jason, I said, okay, this is what's going to do. I'm going to list all this stuff, and when it sells, I'll read it and then I'll pack it and ship it.
Yeah.
That way, I don't have to get involved with it right now. That way, as it's going out the door, I can read it real quick and get rid of it. So, because if I read it and I like it, I'll probably keep it. So,
or I'll wear it first. And then, yeah, I go through my stuff. I wear the rings, and I there's stuff that when you get for selling, you want to try them out first, and just like you said, you read it first.
Well, that's the bonus.
I'm gonna enjoy it first.
Yeah, we can sit there and kind of use our stuff, and then have a list. That's like I have a lot of artwork that's actually on eBay, but it's also on my walls.
Yeah, I'm like that too with the stuff around, and I just wait till I get either it sells or even on the things that I do buy, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just maybe keep this up for a minute.
Space.
Yeah,
I'm gonna decorate with the space, and when it sells, I'll take it down. I'll put another one up.
Yeah, for me, I won't buy it unless I want it unless I don't mind having it on my wall.
Right.
So if it's on my wall, I don't mind it being there because I bought it and it's kind of cool. If it never sells, I'm okay with that.
Well,
too.
And it's another. Honestly, if you live in a smaller place, it's really a great way to store some of the things as long as you're not, you got to be careful if it's breakable and you have it listed already, obviously. But I have this little weird shelf thing up here, and it goes on both sides. I have a lot of stuff that is up, in my stores on either side of it. And it's because they're bigger items and they don't take up as much room.
Decorative storage.
And I have it labeled as shelf or as S in my inventory. So I know exactly where it is. I have things that, a lot of the stuff is in containers.
Yeah.
And I used to store it underneath the bed. I lifted the bed up, and that was where I put my items for the longest time until I could get some more room in the garage and set up some shelves. But that's where I had everything. So it's just, as long as whatever works for you is in the organization part of it.
If you do it and you do it long enough, you're going to reach a point where shipping starts to become an issue when you have to sit there and try to find this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because most of us, if we're having the post office or if they're picking up at your house, they're not picking up at 5 o'clock in the evening. They're usually picking up 11, 12, 1 o'clock. So you've got a shortened time period from the time you get up. Now you got to get it out and find it. If you spend 2 or 3 hours looking for stuff, you're going to miss your postal cutoff. So I mean,
Yeah.
I go to the post office, so I have till 5 every day. I don't worry about that. But you know, there's a lot of times I don't start shipping until 2:30 in the afternoon too. So because I know where everything's at.
Right.
I have a hallway closet where I put most of the stuff that are the breakables are in there. And the other day something sold and it's in the last box all the way in the corner.
Well, I learned because I had banker's boxes and I used to, you know, banker's boxes are nice because they'll stand on top of each other. But after you've taken out 6 boxes to get to them on the bottom enough times, you eventually buy shelves. Because that way you just got to reach down and pull the one out.
I was thinking that I need some kind of system in there because after I had to take everything out to get that last little corner box out of there, I was thinking, no, I need to get some kind of like shelving because I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah, what I have is I have 3 big black shelves that are the big thick plastic ones that are like $50 a piece, but that's hold the shelf stuff, the things that just don't really fit in boxes or too big. And then I have these wire shelves. I have bigger versions of these wire shelves back here that I can put 4 or no, let me not get on there. I can put 5 boxes across, and there are 6 shelves high, and so I can put almost 30 boxes on one shelf. And I've got those in there, and I've got them in my unlisted area as well. And they're about $100 a pop, but they're lifesavers, and you can configure them different ways. But you know, when you have 30 boxes, I got 3 or 4 of them in my room. I can put 120 bankers boxes up now.
Are those ones the ones with the wheels on them?
No, you can buy them that have the wheels on them. I don't buy them with the ones with the wheels. I get them at Home Depot. They always go on sale for like $99.
Yeah, I think for me, getting the ones with the wheels will work because that way I can take the whole shelf out.
Yeah.
Out and then you just get the box from the back and then push it back in.
Yeah, I have most of my inventory is in a little 8x9 bedroom. That's just an unused room, and then I have one shelf out here, and then I have my filing cabinets out here. So I use filing cabinets for most of I like all my stock certificates in filing cabinets, my movie posters in filing cabinets, and then I have a lot of my individual small paper goods that are in filing cabinets. I've got stuff that that smalls, postcards, things like that goes into the cabinets, and they go into different files, and it's a lot easier to do. Like I have 2 filing cabinets. I have a red one and a black one. So right now, if I have an item that sells, it says black, it'll say BF or whatever. So black filing cabinet, and they'll give me the drawer number. So 1, 2, 3, and then there'll be a file number. So like BF 2, 3. I know that's the second drawer of the black filing cabinet and the third folder. Then I'm looking in a little space this big.
Hey, Eric, what the hell had asked? I don't know if you saw the question. And I mean, you could kind of. Do the resellers have the post office come pick up your stuff?
I don't because I live on a walking route and it's a training route. So I'm lucky if I have a post guy that's here for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So I go to a post office, and it's a really tiny little 2-window post office, and that's where my business address is all done. I have a post office box there, and so I just go in, I drop my stuff at the counter, they scan it, get my receipt, and I go. And they love me to death. So never any problems there. And it's like 3-4 minutes away by car. So
that's what's nice about now. When you go down Jason's, you get to meet his post man.
That's right.
He's got a great guy now, but the guy's retiring.
I know.
Oh no.
He's leaving the end of the month.
Is he? He is a nice guy because I bantered with him the first day I saw him. And when I saw him again, like a week or 2 later, I said, "Hey, Legs, what's up?" Because he's a kind of a tall, skinny guy with tan legs, and I was busting his chops, and he was going right along with it, like we knew each other, and a nice guy. He wasn't like, "Okay, where's your stuff? I gotta go." He stood there for a couple minutes chit chatting.
Oh yeah,
we worked on it for 2 years.
As a team.
Crap, so.
He even goes into Hangouts sometimes and talks to Eric and Dusty and whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, does he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Anita?
I have mine. Mine gets picked up, and it's the same postman every time. It's the one that delivers the mail, and only 2 times I think he came where I didn't have mail, and he was like, "What do you mean?" Usually, I have at least 10 or 8 to 10 boxes for him to take. But because it's most of them is jewelry, it's not heavy. So he does leave 2 of those bins here, the white bins. So I just fill them up in those. He takes one and then brings another one with him, and then he comes.
Now, Anita, I noticed just behind the scenes, you're okay. It's fine now. But if your screen ever goes fuzzy, what you could do is hit stop cam like this on the bottom, and sometimes turn it back on, and sometimes it'll correct itself. You seem, yeah, you're okay now. Just I don't know what was going on there. There was a little bit of fuzziness, but I just got a little bit of behind the scenes pointer. But Kimberly, you're the only one that didn't answer the postal question. I know that you do go to the post office, but
I stepped away. What was the question?
What the Hales had asked, do you guys have someone to come pick up your stuff, or do you go to the post office?
So the post office is 30 seconds away for me. I have in the past had the postman come and pick things up, but he kind of sucks. And so I just take it. I've been going inside of the post office for I don't know how many years now. I know these people. So I kind of enjoy honestly going and seeing them. Monday through Saturday, pretty much. I walk in there, they call me Hollywood. I think it's pretty awesome. It's if you went into your post office and they called you Hollywood, you'd probably want to go in there too. So they call me that.
I'm coming to your post office.
Yeah, they're awesome. It's the same people that have been working there for a while. There's a couple people who have. Oh, I guess the writing is over my head, huh?
I don't control that.
I know, right? I'm like,
Craig was pointing out that you had a duck in your hair today. I don't get to control that part.
Yeah.
I think we can take the duck off and put our
only if you pay. Only if you pay, right?
Oh, okay.
You got to pay the $20 or $25. Hey, now I have a question, and I just thought about it, Jason. When your postman comes and picks up your items, how do you handle the receipt part? Does he have a handheld gun to scan the item, or is it just?
He scans all my packages, but all the other substitutes just take them, and they get.
Yeah,
scanned.
but what happens if you want a receipt? He obviously does he carry a portable printer?
What would I ever need a receipt for?
Just like you gave it to him.
What?
When I go to my post office and I drop my packages off, they always give me a receipt so that I can always, in a sense, have that as proof that I left the package there. Eric, don't they do that with you?
They ask me if I want a receipt. Sometimes I get, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just drop my packages and hand them right to them and walk away if they're real busy. You don't need a receipt. You just need to know that they're going to scan them. If you have now the receipt's only going to help you is if they didn't scan them.
Yeah.
But, like Jason's guy, he always goes in and he starts scanning it because it always drives my dog crazy because he can't stand the beeps. So they're getting scanned. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I don't worry about the scanning thing. If package gets lost, it gets lost. But it's not even an issue. I can't even think of a time a package has been lost like that.
Yeah, packages get lost a lot here in California, so that's very picky about the scanning. That's the main reason why I don't go to the post office, because there's very long lines there. I don't like to wait. I have really bad anxieties, so I don't like to wait in the post office. Is the reason why I have them pick it up from here. What they do is they scan everything and they take it.
Well, the problem I have is even when I go to the post office, they won't scan it because I'm dropping off too many packages.
Oh no!
Yeah.
If you want them to scan it, they have to scan it. You just have to wait.
I could force them to scan it, but I don't want to sit there for an hour either.
That's exactly why.
Mine scan them every time, and they don't care about the line. But if I walk in and there's it's the lines around the corner, they give me the mail totes. I bring them home and I fill them up and I take them in with me. And if there's just too many people there, I just hand it to the guy and I say, go ahead and keep it. I'll pick up the tote tomorrow and just hand it to them. I don't worry about it because, I know they're going to do it. Part of the reason I know they're going to do it is because I hook them up at Christmas time too.
Right.
I give them gift cards and things like that, which nobody else does. I mean, everybody takes care of their carrier, but nobody thinks about taking care of the person at the post office. So.
Well, on my post office, the workers are constantly changing. It's never the same person. So, and the two times that I did take the mail there and leave it there where I didn't have them scan, 2 packages that were missing.
Right.
That's
Now,
what
I mean, I have a pile of them. I always get, now sometimes what our
always, yeah.
post office, what they like to do is give me single receipts because it helps. We have a smaller post office too. It helps their transactions. Now they could put all 5 on this long receipt, but then it only counts as one transaction. So my post office likes to do, like, I had 3 packages, so obviously 3 receipts. That's what they
are.
Yeah, they do that because then it counts as 3 transactions.
Yeah, but they're getting they get measured on package quantity, not transaction quantity.
Yeah, that's what they told me, and that's all these 3 slips are only 3 items. Now my post office closes between 12:30 and 1. That's why if you guys sometimes I'll hop in on Flippin' Particles room D because I can't go to the. So if I'm leaving the house around 20 after 12, forget it. I know not to go to the post office 5 minutes before lunch because I'm going to get the eye. But a lot of times I'll even drop off a box of stuff. Now, like last week on Monday, I had 14 packages when we were heading to New York. I'll drop the box off and they'll say, okay. And then the next day in my box is a pile of receipts. Even Destiny, and again, everybody's can do what they want. She says she makes sure she gets the package receipts too.
Right.
I always seem to get them because I just worry that someone says, "Oh, you didn't ship the item," and not that I have a great system of keeping them because I just throw them in a box instead of doing them in a monthly folder. My concern is always that, God forbid, is you go there with 14 and one gets lost to the side, and oh yeah, I said I sent it out, but there's no there. At least having this, I know that I can. With the priority mail cover underneath my insurance,
Yeah, I mean that's the same with any other thing. I mean, you can, the receipt doesn't really do any good for you. I mean, the receipt's not going to do anything as long as they scanned it. That's fine. I mean, if they, if you check your receipt before you leave and make sure they scanned every package, you're good. I don't do that because I'll drop 20 or 30 items off. I'm not going to.
Right, and I've done the same thing. Now, Tommy in the room says they do that to inflate the customer number at the counter, right? I think so. I think that's what it is.
That might be. I mean, that's fine too. I mean, it's just playing games, but it doesn't make much of a difference. I mean, their budgets are weird and how they do everything. But for me, I go to my post office because it's convenient for me. I mean, that's whatever's convenient for you is what works. I mean, if you got a good post person like Jason does, and they pick up and they're reliable and they scan everything, then stick with that. Because why leave your house if you don't have to?
Well.
They're trustworthy. Yeah.
Jason's getting his stuff picked up at a business, so it is a little bit. We don't have. They would never pick it up at our house. We're just rural.
They cater to me. Like if there's a problem and the guy doesn't show up, I just get on the phone with the postmaster and I'm like, "Come get mail." They're like, "Okay, we'll send someone right over."
Right.
But it's like anything else. It's about building relationships, though. I mean, if you build a good relationship with your people, you're never going to have trouble. If I had the same person out here all the time dropping my mail off, I would definitely deal with that, but I don't. So it's harder to establish a relationship when a person changes all the time.
Yeah, I agree with that. Kindness really does go a long way, just even, saying hi or acknowledging. And I get that not everybody's like that, and it is harder when the turnover for a company is high, and you see a different person every single time. But making that little effort of saying hi and asking them how they're doing, goes a long way, even just at the counter. So I've been lucky to have a lot of the same people, but it took me a minute because honestly, I didn't like the people at the counter at the post office. Well, one of them in particular, she was kind of not the nicest of ladies, but I was persistent about it, always acknowledging and be like, how are you doing? Oh, it looks busy today or whatever. You're making small talk. And eventually she, I don't know, she just was nicer. Now, I walk in the door and she's like almost excited about it to see me. So building relationships, and not only at the post office, but in other ways, definitely help kind of go longer.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like I build relationships with my auctioneers, the ones that I go to on a regular basis. They know me, they know what I like to buy, and they trust you. I mean, if I went to one of my auctions, I didn't bring any money, I wouldn't have any trouble saying, "Oh shoot, I forgot my wallet. I'll be right back," or give me a minute, I'll give you a phone call, and I'll call you with the credit card number or whatever. I mean, they don't have trouble with that.
I'll take that a step further. I was at one auction, and I know a lot of the auctioneers on the circuit. He came up to me towards the end of the auction. He's like, "Why'd you stop bidding?" I'm like, "I didn't know the auction was happening, and I only brought X amount of money, and I'm out." And he's like, "Your credit's fine with me. Continue bidding." I was like, "Pay me next week."
See,
you do enough business with people, though. That's the type of relationship you can build, and you can make a difference. I mean, the auction I went to yesterday, they called me up today. They said, I think our clerk wrote our credit card down wrong, wrote your number down wrong because it wouldn't go through. It wasn't you gave us a bad credit card number. And I'm like, yeah. I looked at my papers last night. I knew you'd call me today because she wrote the wrong number, the last number down wrong. And they're like, okay, no problem. So I gave them like, all right, no problem. We'll see you either today or tomorrow. I'm like, maybe, but no problem. And it was done. I mean, it's just one of those weird little things that they know you well enough, and in a lot of auctions I go to, they just hand me the same number. It's your permanent number. I don't even need to go to check in. I can just go in and say my number is X, and they're going, okay, no problem. We know that it'll pop up as me in the system. That's the type of stuff. When you get those relationships going, it also helps that the auctioneer knows you, because a lot of times they'll look to, if it's just the stuff you buy, they'll look to you to start the bid.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can control it then.
Yeah. You know what I don't like? The one thing I don't like is when you're at some of these bigger industrial auctions and you're sitting there bidding, and after a while, these like runners will come to you and demand cash, or you can't continue bidding. That
really?
Out of me.
that happens.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I've never been to an industrial type auction like that, but
Yeah, I mean, they're real expensive. I think the one I'm thinking of, I think I spent like almost 30,000 at, but like it's just annoying when you're trying to buy and then someone's like tugging at your arm for cash.
Now, Jason, like years ago, my father-in-law had an excavating business, and he would go to places like they were going to auction off backhoes, and he would go with a letter from the bank certifying his check, because it was nothing to buy a $50,000 piece of equipment. Have you had that situation where you do that too, or?
No, I haven't gone that far. I usually
you've gone with $30,000 in cash at an auction, or?
No, I'll go with up to like 10 grand, and then the rest I'll put on a card.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why because the way you said it, I wasn't sure. Like,
well, they'll do it to like a point. After you reach X amount of cash in their hand, they'll back off you.
Right.
But I mean, I don't do many industrial auctions anymore. I find they're very annoying, and they're somewhat shady too. It's very easy to get bidding against someone that's not really there, so to speak, or even more chill bidding and stuff. It can get crazy with these bigger auctions.
Well, I mean, any auction, I like to see who I'm bidding against, so I'm always the guy in the back room. So because I want to see where the auctioneer's eyes are going and what's going on with it, and seeing how that's working and stuff. So that way you can tell if because a lot of times you'll see he'll say 5 and he goes, I'll take 10, and everybody's going, well, nobody bid 5, you're not getting 10 out of us, and then he'll drop it back down. So it's just an auctioneer trick to get a little higher starting bid, but. Which is fine because it's going to go for more than that anyway. I mean, I was in the auction yesterday and had a lot of stuff laid out, and nobody was bidding at $5. So I throw a $5 bid out for my choice, and by the time that lot was up and running, it was over $70. So it's stuff like that works like that. But it's just when you go to auctions, you got to learn how they work. So if you've never been to an auction, you go to an auction, just don't plan on bidding. Just watch how it works.
Do you usually see like the same people there in the same auctions that you go?
Yeah. That's everybody runs the circuit. You get to know everybody, and eventually, what people like to buy. Oh shoot, there's that thing. He's always going to buy that stuff. I used to run one auction down in West Virginia that if it was sterling silver, you weren't going to buy it because there's one lady. It was her determination, because this is when silver was like $40-$45 an ounce. And it was her determination to save every piece of nice sterling from being melted down. And she, multi-million-dollar family, they had lots of money. Her husband was a contractor and all this. And she would literally, the auctioneer, the only people that had reserved seats was these people, and they would sit right in the front row. And if it was sterling silver, he would just keep feeding it to her, and she'd pay top dollar for it because the scrappers would bid it up, and she'd always buy it. But that you knew right off the bat that's what it was. But my wife wanted a piece from him one time. We fought with him for a little bit, and my wife walked up. She said, are you going to sell that piece? Because I really kind of wanted it. She's like, well, what do you want it for? She's like, I collect wine stuff. She's like, oh, here you go. Just handed it to her.
Oh, I see.
Because she's a great lady, but that's just how it can be sometimes. You get to know people in the circuit, and eventually they know what you like. They won't run you up, and it's kind of like a little courtesy thing, and it just kind of works out. But a new person coming in and trying to bully people, oh, you'll pay. You will pay a lot of money for your stuff because people will run you up and then just keep doing it.
Oh, I see.
All right, Kim's part of the bottom crew now.
Wait a minute. I
accidentally booted myself. My knuckle hit my screen, which is a touch screen, and I hit the leave video button. Whoops.
Are you able to do that? Like shuffle them and?
No, but that worked out all right because the way Eric is sitting, you don't have a duck on his head like was on Kimberly's.
No, I'm just wondering if it has that option to shuffle it.
No, I mean you could do things like this. Hold on.
Now I have a duck face.
Yeah. So
yes, you do.
Hold on, guys. I'm trying to get it back.
The guy goes on. Which one was the duck? Which insurance was it that had the duck?
Aflac.
Aflac, yeah.
Aflac.
Yeah, and you only know that. I mean, unless you. You can practice with StreamYard without going live. But again, just trying to show the people what's going on. There's things I like about it, and there's things I don't like about it. I mean, I do have to agree with Eric that sometimes when we, as the host, like to kind of play around with that button to show the chat because we're trying to interact with the chat, but at the same time, because Kimberly was doing it to me last night, and I was like pretending to look over the because it was cutting me off right at the eyes, and all you saw was my eyes and my hair, and. Again, it's got good features in some of them that could probably be tweaked to make it better. But, we're just trying to figure out something because of Google Hangouts going away August 1st, so we know.
I did some research on that. Google Hangouts is not going away.
That's what I was reading. That
it's not going away. They're taking it out of G Suite, which was a suite that people were using. But Hangouts is not going to go away. They said it'll be around at least through all of 2019. And then they're going to come out with something, I think they call it Google Meet or something. It's just going to be a replacement. And it's mainly for the G Suite users, which is a paid user. So I don't think that it going away at all.
Right. I was thinking the same thing, too, because there's so many people that are using it. Why would they be pushing? And Craig had just done a video, Landshark Picker, about the flaws, the security flaws with Zoom. And now you guys, we've talked privately through a peer. Have you guys ever gone live with a peer?
No. A peer is good for regular Hangouts, but it can get laggy at times, even in a regular Hangout. So I don't think it would be good, as a stream. I've seen people do it. Zoom seems to be the best, the one that people use most. StreamYard's newer. I guess people are trying it out. You know what? I'm going to keep if it's going to be on YouTube. Google's going to have a product that's going to support it. They're not going to want you to go off of their product.
That's what I'm thinking.
StreamYard charges $24.99 a month. Zoom is $19.99 a month. Google's going to come out and probably charge you $9.99 a month by the time they're done with it.
Right.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Have to learn new things.
I mean, it is nice to see all of us on an equal setting, but again, when we do have those lazy moments that we kind of want to just listen to the discussion, you got to be conscious of everything because everybody is the same size, unless you have someone behind the scenes having the ability to kind of bounce that screen, but you don't. So, now, Jason, you got any more? Give me a little bit more notice, but I am interested in. Actually, I had gotten an invite today for an auction with Jeremy and George. What the hell's? They had sent me an invite, but I was like, no, I can't come because my son's graduation party, and they agreed. That's more important than doing to that. So, hey, Destiny, you're heading to bed. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it, and I hope you're feeling better. Mr. Pickles is keeping you up late, I bet, with all that sneezing and carrying on. So, but thank you for stopping in. Appreciate it.
Is that sneezing that the bird is doing?
Yeah, that's like a sneeze, right? Is that right, Kimmy, or am I wrong?
I thought it was trying. I thought it was trying to talk.
I don't know what it is. She says it doesn't. It's not picking up the rest of it, but across or through YouTube or
it's loud
on our end. Yeah, it sounds like a sneeze. It reminds me of what the train does when it comes to a stop, and you could hear it like it let the steam out. The noise. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, it's really loud. And yeah, it does sound like a sneeze.
Well, Pat, we might have something in plans for you. We'll have to let you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you like to travel?
Yeah, as long as you give me more than an hour's notice, and then you
travel.
No, I travel, but the problem is this is what we run into, Anita. One, they either give me an hour's notice, or I get 3 hours of sleep and I get up, and then they give me no notice that they're not keeping the date. So
you got to keep up, man. You got to keep up.
We're thinking, would you mind an overnight trip though?
No, I wouldn't mind.
Okay.
I am going to Nashville next month, and me and Swamp Picker are sharing a room, and we're going to do the meetup there. That's fine.
Not that weekend.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay. It would have to be something like family, but I don't have much family, so it would have to be something that I would have to say no, that I already committed something, so I don't. Excuse my language, but piss my wife off if I make a commitment with her one weekend. I can't be like, well, no, I got to go hang out with the boys to go get a storage unit. So as long as I have some sort of notice,
it's not a storage unit, so we wouldn't do that again.
What? As long as we're not doing nothing illegal, is there a costume closeout somewhere that we can?
No. You'll have to wait. We're not discussing this one. Not out in public yet. We've got some plans. So we're not like Amazon sellers. We're going to be like Amazon sellers. We're not going to talk about our secrets on some stuff. So
no,
you got to protect your sources every now and then. So
of course.
I agree.
Especially when you're doing RA. I'm going to actually do an RA video this week. I'm going somewhere. That I haven't done one of those videos in a while, just because I'll be honest with doing the storage unit and I got to the point there. I was a little crazy for about 6 weeks. I was doing focusing on the sourcing in the last 3 or 4 weeks, not focusing on the listing. And I'm kind of like that. Once I get myself back into it, I'll be like, I remember when I started. Okay, I got 1,000 listing store, and I was pushing, and I got like 700 items listed probably within a month. Now, I got to get back on that bandwagon as far as listing.
Okay. Whose keys were those?
Yeah,
it wasn't you? Oh.
Those are my keys. I have a little loud keyboard. Mine's just old, so.
So did Dusty give me a shout out? Is that what I heard? Oh, I appreciate that.
Ago, I think, right?
What's that?
Like a week ago, I think.
Oh, okay.
You'll have to find it in his 3.5 hour video, though. I don't know where it's at. So.
Oh yeah, I when I first got on YouTube about 6. Why can you can't throw me a super chat, Chris, yet, because what happens is I just hit 1,000 subscribers 2 weeks ago. And what that does is allow you to go mobile, which I have already done. And you have to have enough watch time. I am basically at about 90% with the watch time, so I'm very close to getting to the point that I can do that. You need 240,000 minutes or 4,000 hours of watch time. But hey, Chris, thank you. I'll be honest. Hey, I appreciate you stopping in. I've talked to you before, and but thanks for asking. Um, First is to get people interested in your channel and want to follow you and stuff. It's not easy, and I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't really want to do much of these these 2-hour shows. You got to have people on that you enjoy their company and talking to. And this gang, I do, and we're trying to. I'll be honest. I'm going to keep it at 5 or 6 at a time. I have other people, John from Nevermore, and Jason, and Craig, and Lance, Glenn Swamp Picker. So, the girls can't always hang out with us every time, which I understand because they have children. And
every other week is good for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So at times I'm going to ask those guys, and then that gives them time to kind of, hey, what have you been doing the last 2 weeks, and talk about it, and keep it interesting that it's not the same old stuff. Me and Eric, we were talking. Jason helped me out. We did a little show and tell where I had postcards. I went to the auction, and Jason had some of his things. So me and Eric are talking, and I want to do maybe like once or twice a month a show called Postcards from the Past, because Eric's big into selling those types of things, and he could show sales, and he has a lot more knowledge than I do. I'll be honest, I just enjoy collecting them myself. But now I just purchased probably close to 4,000 or 5,000 postcards, and when I had done that show, Postcards from the Past 2 weeks ago, I had sold one. A viewer came in, Lynn B, and said, I liked that Paul Bunyan one. And it had a date, I think it was 1912 or something like that. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. What was weird is the same day that she got it, it was like 70 years ago that it was sent on the same day. It was July 7th. So I think it was 1949, and I sold that card to her for $5, included shipping and stuff like that. So I mean, even after PayPal fees and the 75 cents it cost me, I already got $3 off of a box that, and I paid $15 for that box. So I mean, at $5 a piece, I only need to sell a couple just to break even. But I plan on hoping in the next week or two to get with Eric and do a show. I've pulled out about 35 cards that are all dated, and I'm hoping that we can do a show together on that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
it's not hard to do. I mean, I think the thing that frustrates me the most when because I'm in a lot of Facebook groups, and I don't post a lot in groups. I like to lurk and see what's going on, and my problem is, my frustration is I think people don't do enough research on their own. I think people need to be better at research. It just seems like it's not so much. It's easy to look up something that you know exactly what it is, and you can find a million of them. Polaroid camera, easy to find. But when you have something that's unique, like a postcard or something like that, you have to do research, but you have to get so wide. You start narrow, and then you're widening it out until you actually start getting some results that are similar to what you're looking for. And then maybe you can get an idea of pricing for it. So you don't give it away, but you also don't let it sit there forever.
Yes.
That's the type of stuff that I think people really need to work on themselves. And you don't have to have something to list or research. You can just say, oh, I was watching Banana Finds, and he shows a brace drill, and I froze the camera, so I'm looking at the thing. I'm going to go see if I can find the same thing.
I want to look at those too and see what they're about. Yeah.
And just see what you can figure out, because all that's doing is just putting in the back of your head that, wow, if I see something like that at a garage sale or at a flea market or an auction, and I know I've looked those up, and those things are $50, $60 a piece, I can get that. But I know there's also some that are like $10 a piece, so I need to be a little bit more aware of what it is. And you do that enough, you build up a general knowledge base that Jason has and I have, that we can walk into any auction and go, that's a good piece. That one's, it looks good, but it's nowhere near the value. Because you know that piece is no good. Jason can look at a tool and tell you that's Chinese made. It's not worth what an American made one is worth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What I used to do or I still even do, depending on what I'm going to look at, or if I maybe see an estate sale or pictures of something ahead of time and I want to know brands, is I actually will take a little note card, an index card, and I will write down, or even put it in your phone. Maybe some brands or ones to keep, watch out for. And I'll have that, I'll stick it in my wallet or stick it right in my pocket, depending on if I bring my purse inside. Sometimes I don't bring my purse inside of places, and I'll just stick cash in my pocket or something. But little note, just so that you can recognize those brands. And I agree on the research thing. I also cannot say this enough, and I'm sure everybody on the panel and all of you resellers been doing this for a minute can agree. Look up what the solds are, not the first listing you find.
Right.
Look up the solds and what it's actually sold, because you can look up some and sometimes there's even mistakes, like somebody didn't put maybe accidentally another zero. I used to list for somebody before I started my own eBay store, but I had even then enough knowledge, because my family's been in the Amazon and eBay business since the late 90s, to sort of know what I was doing, when I was listing for somebody. And it was frustrating at times because he would look up something and go off the first listing that he saw. And that wasn't necessarily what something sold at. I mean, if you looked at some things where you see, like for example, on VHSs, there's some VHSs out there listed for thousands. Anytime a new Disney movie comes out, immediately there's somebody that's like, this VHS is black diamond and it's worth bazillions of dollars. No, it doesn't mean all of them are going to be like that. You need to kind of go look at the solds, and then even then there's sometimes a price range. And I like to kind of, depending on what it is, but stick somewhere in the middle if it's a huge sort of range. But
that'll teach you condition too. Because like if you find an item, you find a little spinny ashtray, and you're like, okay, they sell for $30 to $10. Well, the $10 one was terrible. The $30 one was perfect. Where's mine fall on that scale? And then you can kind of price right in there. If you price it right, your stuff will move a lot faster than pricing it high and then getting offers, or pricing it low and running auctions. You gotta price it to where people are okay, that's a good deal for a good time, I'll buy it. But if you're still out of whack on your pricing, you'll never get sales. Even if you take offers, you got to, like, the person has to be comfortable making an offer. If the thing's $500 and it's only worth $25, no one's going to offer you $25 for it. Because in their mind, I'm not going to fight with a guy to get to 25 for 500. We're just way too far apart. You've heard, I mean, we all watch American Pickers. We all love the show. You've heard them say we're too far apart on an item. And if you're not close enough, there's no sense even doing the negotiation tactic part of it. So, you just research. The sold is key. We were watching something earlier, and people were talking about some items, and like, oh, it's worth this much, and like it was like, really, I didn't think so. So we did some research, and like, no, they were way off. And so all it's going to do is cost you money if you don't do the research properly.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Anita. I'm sorry.
When I first started, I didn't know about the solds either. I would look up something as for what it's listed for. But now you see something is listed for $150, and then you get excited. You go into solds and see they've sold for $40, $39.
Yeah.
Like somebody has it listed for $145.
right.
Well, I mean, and then
Medium
you have a lot of tools.
Yeah.
We all, if you have a store, you have Terapeak now, so that gives you a year's worth of history. If you spend the money, you can buy Worth Point, and that'll give you 10 years worth of history. I mean, there's ways to research this stuff that you can do it. Terapeak's for free, basically, if you have a store. But if you're going to do this seriously, there's nothing, and you're into that collectibles category, Worth Point is invaluable.
It's definitely invest in Worth Point if you're doing, those sort of items where you're not dime a dozen. Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, my pet peeve is got to be when people use the sell similar thing and they don't look at the category that the other person put it in.
And it could be in the wrong category.
Oh, I've seen like screwdrivers in like the I don't know, I can't even think of anything right now. Actually,
we were talking about today. There was a vice that should sell for a decent amount of money, and everybody's selling it in the screwdriver category.
that's what it was. I'm
And
sorry.
you're like, okay,
No.
if this vice is in the vice category, it's going to bring a higher price.
It's going month after month after month in the
Yeah,
same
and
category.
it's everybody that sells one, and they're like, oh, let's go. Now I got one. I'm going to sell similar, and they never change the category.
I went back, and there were 5 others, and all of them were in that category.
And that's, again, people not doing their homework, or like you said, Eric, doing the research.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, I see that a lot with sports memorabilia, that sometimes you could have an autographed jersey, and there's so many categories to list that sports memorabilia. Do they list it in autograph? Do they list it in jerseys? Do they and I kind of have the tendency to kind of look and see which one. I'll look at 3 categories. Maybe there was multiple listings to see which one had the best and most recent sales. Because sometimes you'll type in sales and like, well, yeah, something sold, but it was like 6 months ago.
Yep.
You know,
Sometimes they can get pretty bizarre too. Like you'll see a vase, and it'll be like in the musical instruments category. You know, like they're like way out there. Like I think like people are planting them. You know.
So
Yeah.
tip of the day, when you're gonna list something is so similar, look and see what category it is, and look at everything else in there as well before you post it.
Please.
It's just as you work your way down, because the category creates item specifics, and so if you're in the wrong category,
Mhm.
The item specifics are gonna be an issue. I mean, that's just what it
I
is.
wish they had the technology, and I just kind of thought about that now. When we upload photos on Facebook, it has that facial recognition, and it could say, okay, like Anita, you want to tag Anita if she was in a photo with me. Like last night, I was at a place, I took a photo of people helping us with the graduation party, and it automatically knew that I was friends with that person. I wish there was technology that if I took a picture of a vase, it would pick up on that and say, hey, that's a vase. Do you want to list it in that category? Because that is frustrating a lot of times. I've already skipped listings because I don't know where to list it. I don't feel like it's being listed right.
You have to be careful, because if you knowingly violate the categories listing, eBay can suspend you for that. I have seen several people get suspended for listing in the wrong category. Now it's one of those little 3-day or 7-day suspensions, but
Right.
it can be a disruption in your business because some categories you don't pay as much of a fee to list, like the musical instruments category is like 3 or 3.5% is the final value fee in that one, whereas most of them are 7, 8, 9%. So people do that on purpose, and if you purposely list something in the wrong category, you're going to get dinged. If they find it, they have the right to suspend you at that point. You'll get a little nasty email and say you can't list for 3 days or 7 days.
Yeah.
So
Or how many times do you find something? I mean, I got an item right now, and if someone says there's a website out there where you can send them the image and they'll kind of give you a little history of what it is. I mean, the perfect example was this, what I got earlier in the year. Remember when I had showed this? How do you find that on eBay?
Well,
But
see, to me, though, but that's just that goes. We're going to go into an art category. So
Yeah, art. Yeah.
What is that
art
made
and
of?
sculpture.
What is it? Is that
metal? It's
metal?
like yeah. I bought this. I either got it at Goodwill or Salvation Army, and it's really neat. It's about 10 inches high by about 10 inches, and it's not real heavy, but it sounds like metal. But I've run into that situation, and I would just love if eBay had, if I took this picture and uploaded this to eBay, that they could have that recognition that it would pull up out of their data. I don't even know if they ever thought of something like that, but it would be able to pull that, yeah, we sold something like this, or
There's just way too many images for something like that. I mean, it would bog everything down. But that's where you just got to do the research, and sometimes you just gotta guess. And it's a piece of art, it's a sculpture. You just throw it in that. It's metal, and you kind of go from there. If you get it at least down to that point, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Right, and there could only, then maybe that's something that's one of a kind, and somebody made that, and there isn't another one.
Yeah, I was talking about it one time before. I had wondered if it was something that it was a decision that someone was making a big life-size scale outside of a building, and this was the little one that they got on the desk or something like that. I'm to be honest, I only paid like $5 for it.
Yeah.
And I'm keeping it because it is kind of unique, and that it just has that attitude, keep pushing forward. And I've actually had someone that I showed it probably 4 or 5 months ago, and someone offered to buy it. Tommy is saying that eBay already has image search.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not good unless it's the same exact item. It'll show you like totally
Can you
different.
do that again, Pat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a bicycle racing.
Like a cyclist, isn't it?
I've seen images similar to that, but I haven't seen that exact same one.
Turn it to the side for a minute. Thanks. On the side, please.
And it's metal?
Yeah.
No, I mean like side profile of it. Not upside down. There we go. Yeah, okay. See, this all stems, ladies and gentlemen, from doing the research. I found it. It last sold for $76.
What's that?
It sold for $76.
$76?
Yes.
Put the link in the side chat, Jason.
Yeah.
It's a Worth Point link.
No, in our private side chat here.
Sure.
Now, where did you find that at, Jason?
Worth Point.
See?
Now,
Again.
what can you explain? What I've never heard of that.
What Worth Point is?
Yeah.
Worth Point is a service that came around. What, about 15 years ago, I guess?
Yeah, my parents have been using it since I want to say early 2000s. It's been around for
What it is they made a deal with eBay that they basically can get every eBay feed out of certain categories. And what it is they get copies of everything that's sold on eBay, like collectibles, things like that. But they also go from local auction houses, national auction houses, and they gather all this information together, and they save it. And then what happens is you pay them $20 a month as the cost of the subscription, and you go in and just like anything, you can do a search, like a web search, and it'll pop up. And again, it's like researching though. You have to research the right items because you're dealing with people's eBay titles and stuff like that. So once you do the research, it'll pop up the images. You match the images up, and it'll help you. And what's nice about it is it'll give you the price for stuff that might be 12 years ago, whereas eBay really only goes back 90 days and Terapeak only goes back a year. Now I can get something that's 10 years old. I was researching like these brochures last sold in 2013. So you can't find that anywhere else. And it's an invaluable tool for people that are mainly collectibles and antiques, but it picks up weird stuff. So it picks up a lot of things that are not collectibles and antiques. Jason will find tools and stuff in there as well. But now, you pay for this, or is this a free site? You have to pay for it. You can search on it for free, but it won't give you the price.
Yeah.
Okay, so you subscribe to it, Jason?
Yeah.
I am too. If you find, you can go search in there and then send me the link to what you're looking for. I can
How
open
much
it.
do they charge you a month, Jason?
Well, I share it with Eric and another person.
I share it too. I split it with some people, family members.
That's the best way to do it.
So how much is it?
If you buy it outright, it's $20 a month.
Oh, okay. Because the Mary Death Dell's also, she never, I'll be honest, I never heard of it. And,
if you find the item and just, copy the URL, the link, and you send it to somebody that has it, they can open it up for you and send it to you.
I use it for a lot of
advocating because that is a pure violation of Worth Point rules.
Yeah, well, we can't do that, but you can save it like that.
But yeah, but that's the key. Right there is an item that it takes a few minutes to find on Worth Point. You're not going to find it on eBay. You're not going to find it anywhere out there. You find it in a site there. So now you got an item that should sell for between $70 and $100.
Yeah. And I was kind of surprised because I thought maybe it was worth 40 or 50, and to be worth 50% more. I still don't know if I want to sell at 75 because
if you like it, you know what it's worth now, so you know that down the road,
right?
Maybe I sell it, maybe I don't. We were doing a research on were looking at a local auction. There was, I think, 3 or 4 of us were in the hangout, and we were searching old tether cars. And we have no idea. These are cars from the 50s. These are the cars you put the motor in, and you put them on a little pole, and they'd spin around and go really fast. And had no idea the value. So we were thinking, oh, tether cars, couple $300. The cars they were selling at this auction, they were worth, according to Worthport, between $1,200 and $2,500. We never would have known they were worth that much if we hadn't been doing the research and had that tool to find it for us. Now, unfortunately, they sold for close to that amount, so we didn't buy them. But that the fact that they're out there, if we know, again, creating a better knowledge base, and then also now we have a tool to look that type of stuff up. So I mean, it's those types of things are just amazing. The tools that are out there, they may cost you a little bit of money, but you write it off on your taxes anyway, right? Of your business, but it will put money in your pocket every month. I guarantee that.
Right. If you can't find it on eBay, if it was sold on eBay and you can't find it, you'll definitely find it there.
Yeah, it won't do clothing though. I'll tell you that right now.
Anita, how long have you been using WorthPoint?
About a year now.
Okay. And do you, speaking of clothes now, does anyone sell clothes? I do sell clothes, but it's a very small.
Me too.
Or maybe 10 or 15%. And the only reason I sell it because it's usually cheap to get. I mean, when you could get a pair of jeans for 50 cents or $1 and turn it into 10 or 15, it's
nothing wrong with that.
Right. And I do that a lot sometimes. I mean, I probably every week I probably sell 5 to 8 articles of some sort of clothing. Now, Nevermore, I think, okay, he's probably saying to move to Texas is too expensive. I thought he was saying WorthPoint was too expensive. I just saw the chat there. So,
Mike, the crazy card says the basic WorthPoint is all you need. The more expensive version is just a reference for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. The nice thing is, I mean, because if you go to some of the art sites, there's one with a live art or something like that charges you like it's an expensive thing. It's like $30 or $40 a month, but WorthPoint picks up a lot of those art sales too. So you don't really need to go some of the other ones, some of the other sites out there. WorthPoint is pretty universal. So.
Now, Jason, real quick, you kind of I remind myself of Eric looking at stuff and hanging on that Corvette thing. Like, I found this Easter card. Now, would I be able to pull this up on WorthPoint?
What is it? Oh, Easter is it? You might be able to. I mean, you might not find the exact card.
Yeah, and it has writing. There's no date, but it was in one of these envelopes in that batch of stuff that I found. But I know it seems a little corny, but I like the vintage cuteness of it and the old cards. I mean, back when I was still in school, it wasn't like, I remember my grandmother sending me a card and you kept them and you hung on to them. Now, I mean, how many kids really do cards and stuff because everything's through Facebook and send a message. So I enjoy this old vintage paper. What I obviously I'm not going to keep all of it, so I like to kind of pass it along to somebody that would appreciate it and could do something with it. But again, finding the value. So would you be able to find something like this on WorthPoint?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how the share screen works on this.
I took it for a second, and just general Easter card pulled up like 10,000 results. So you got to narrow it down a bit by maybe what she's doing, watering plants or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could I pulled up an individual Easter card here, and it's sold for $161 on February 25th of 2016. And it's just some bunnies, and it says Happy Easter. It was pasted. I don't know why. Lord knows why it sold for that amount of money, but it did. That's the nice thing. You're probably not going to be able to find that exact image when you deal with something that's like that. It's going to be difficult to find just a single image of one item. But what you're trying to find is you're looking for style. You're looking for what they typically sell for, so you have an idea of what you can ask. High price might be $161, low price might be $5.99. You just don't really know, but that at least gets you into the ballpark for pricing on a single card. It's the same with postcards. When I had that Titanic postcard I showed on the show, ballpark figure, I was hoping to get $300 or $400. Condition knocked mine back, but at least I knew it was going to be a $100 card, and I sold it for $149. So that's the type of stuff that you don't know what it is until you get there. I mean, But having Worth Point just at least tells you where it's at and can give you into the ballpark. There's nothing like having something you're sitting there staring at like I have no idea what the price is for.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have some idea of what it's worth. And because I think again, you can throw it up way too high. I mean, a lot of people like to list it high and then let the offers come in, and that works. But I'd rather be closer to the value and know exactly what it is. Stuff that I really know the value, I know it's hot, I'll put up for auction and let it run. But
I wish WordPoint had that picture scanning system too, where you just took a picture of it and it would find it for you in there.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be good to add and charge extra for it.
Now, Chris had asked me, that was an Easter card. I'll be honest, I enjoy, and this is why American Pickers is my favorite show, because I just enjoy, there's writing on the back of that, and just enjoy the story of where this stuff comes from and the time. And you know, I mean, I know we are listers and we have to sell the stuff, but this is why I enjoy actually even, you know, talking to Eric about these type of things, because when you talk to someone that's been around it long enough, you know, and other people that do this, you can. Now, Chris is saying I should list it for $20.
He wants to buy it. That's why. So he's got an idea. And he said he's trying to get you to list it for $20 so you can slap right in and buy it, and then turn around and flip it for $75. See, and he's a smart guy there. See, I bought. You know what? If you can't source, I bought stuff off of eBay to turn around and flip. I bought a set of keys off of somebody. I paid them $35. They were happy. I turned around and I flipped it for $400 in a weekend. They didn't know what they had. That's all.
Yeah. I'm gonna get back. I'll be honest. Before in the next, now that all this stuff is done with my son with graduation, he started college last week. I am going to get on the ball as far as you know, doing that. Hey, Jason, thanks for posting that link in our side chat. I appreciate that. And listing these things. I just love this stuff as far as vintage. I like toys. I like old paper and stuff like that. So, all right. Well, we're over 2 hours here, guys. I want to start wrapping things up. But you know, I want you guys to what's going on this week for you guys, and or you've got anything to plug, or you start with Eric.
I'm trying to think, what week is this? This is, you know, they'll probably, I mean, I'll probably have a video on my channel. I'm sure Jason will have one on his channel. We'll probably do something together. We got some auction stuff to show.
Yeah, maybe like during the week.
Yeah, sometime during the week. I'm not sure. I mean, I've got stuff and he's got stuff, so we'll probably do one. On one of our channels, we'll figure it out. We're both of them. We're not real sure, but I don't think have anything scheduled for this week. I have no idea. I'm just getting my dog better. That's it.
Steven, no, I'm not calling Eric Gold. What I'm saying is he has a wealth of knowledge as far as you know.
I don't care. It doesn't bother me in the least.
Yeah, I mean he's only a couple years older than me, but still, when you're around somebody that's been doing it long enough, they have a lot of. You don't see many.
Kimberly could be my daughter is not a big deal. Okay, so
yeah. Well, you guys have the same hair today. Yeah.
Well, my oldest daughter is 34, so.
And Kimberly's 36, so there you go.
Pat, I told you that you're going to do that to me. I'm going to start doing that to you.
You're going to add a year, or you can just
let everybody know that you're 48.
48. I'm only 37.
Almost 50. That you're almost 50. Every time you tell me I'm 36, I'm going to tell you you're almost 50.
There you go. So what's going on with you, Kimberly, this upcoming week?
Starting to do Motivational Monday. That's at noon Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Central. And then I am going to do another Buy It Now sale on Wednesday. Rebecca Kruder and I did one last Wednesday. It wasn't an auction. It was just set prices. And so many people responded well to it. They just even had just a good time. So we're going to try it again. And then, of course, I'll be around for the Thursday show, which you're hosting. There is not an episode of The Crazies come out, game night edition this Friday. That's only every other week. I do it on the weeks that I don't have my son on Friday, because when I do have him, we do our own family game night.
I got a brand new 80s video game trivia sitting over there that I've never opened up. We could send it to you. You could do an 80s movie video trivia.
I
wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind doing something if we did something for 10 minutes at the very end and did something like that. If you're interested in the future, Eric, not a whole show on it, because we tried to talk. But if you ever want to do something that kind of, I try to wrap up the last 10 or 15 minutes about casual chat and talk about those things. But anybody who has any ideas they want to contribute to the show, don't be afraid to say something. Oh, the treasure hustlers are here. Jackie and Sarah, thanks for stopping in. Yep.
Those are my girls. Those are the Curb Quote Queens. What's up, Sarah and Jackie?
Now, how Anita? I saw that you did. You did a show for testing silverware or silver.
Yes.
Is that typically you just do that if somebody else ain't doing live? Because that was sort of a random thing.
No, yeah, that was because that was because Jason wasn't doing his live. But I'm gonna do a couple of lives next week. I'm gonna do 2 lives where I'm not gonna be testing the jewelry. I'm gonna be testing jewelry. I'll do it on different days. I haven't decided which day yet, but I will put the reminders up.
Okay. And Jason, what's going on with you this week? I know Eric had mentioned you two about doing some stuff together, but you have any plans to do any of your own stuff, or?
No, I'm just listing hard.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, to catch up because for 3 weeks you really weren't listing with the air conditioner being down, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Really far behind.
Right. So just to everybody who hasn't subscribed to any of these channels, we have our channels in Patdees 72, Anita Funita, Nameless Picker, Banana Findz, and Borderline Hoarderish. You guys can check out their channels. After the show, you can always leave a comment. I always put the link in the description. You guys, I always personally follow up on every comment, and we get comments probably every day, so I always reply. So if you're watching this on the replay, and I tell you, the Saturday shows do get a lot of replay watch. I think last week when we ended the show, we were at like 200. So over the course of the week, about 150 people watched the replay. So people are interested in the show, and I appreciate it. I thank you guys for your support. Like I said, last week was the top show. And actually, the top 3 shows for the year are doing these late shows on Saturday and stuff. And I want to thank Anita and Kimberly for coming on this week and theming the night, ladies' night. And everybody's got to keep in mind we're all in different time zones. Anita's in California, and Jason's in Pennsylvania with me, and Eric's in Ohio, and Kimberly's in Colorado. So sometimes it's hard to kind of coordinate all those different time zones together. So I really do appreciate it. I will Thursday Night Live on my channel rotates this week. We are having Valerie Hickory Springs. We're going to talk about side gigs such as Instacart, Grubhub, Uber Eats, Lyft, Uber. That's going to be the subject of the night. Not everybody has the ability to source things or the money. They just want to work and make money. So we sort of do a business show that's structured that night. We go for an hour, and we rotate it between myself, Destiny, and Kimberly. And then obviously, of course, I'll do the Saturday show. And I'm going to probably start in about 10 more days, Wednesday morning, I'm going to be working with someone that is a $1 million seller on Amazon. And we're going to be doing an early Wednesday morning show talking about Amazon, all things Amazon. Someone that has a lot of knowledge on that. So if you're an eBay, but it's interesting to learn other concepts and maybe opportunities. But I want to thank everyone for coming out and watching the show tonight and showing your support. It is greatly appreciated. I put a lot of time and effort into doing this, and these guys sitting here volunteering their time. And if you guys want to say anything before you go?
I forgot to mention that I'm gonna finally meet somebody from the YouTube community for the first time this week. I'm gonna meet Dwayne Mothership Products, who happens to be my special guest when our Thursday show rotates back. So keep an eye out.
July 25th, Dwayne will be coming on.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can maybe get him in some videos or something before then. So, yay.
So is he stalking you or are you stalking him?
Maybe a little of both. No, okay. I'm pretty excited about it just because he's really nice, and even his wife Heather, they're both really great people. So I'm excited to finally meet somebody. I always hear all these stories of everybody meeting each other, and here I am all by myself. I'm like, hi, here I am, Colorado. Hey, there's a couple people, but they live in the Springs, and the Springs is about a couple hours with no traffic. So it's just hard to kind of coordinate with that, but I'm excited.
Now, Mary Death Dells is asking, do I have a playlist? Yeah, I make playlists for the Saturday show, for the Thursday show, even if I'm a guest on somebody else's show. And then that's really how I started, by going on other people's show. And sometimes even if I pop in for 10 minutes, I put that on the list. I've been catching hell lately from Scott because I've only done one show in 3 weeks, but he kind of forgets. When he went to Maine, Sue did his show for 2 days, but I want to get back on a normal schedule with him. The problem is doing some of this stuff sometimes late. It's tough getting up in the morning to do. And again, is when you kind of go on a show, everybody's got to have a chance to talk. And sometimes in the morning it is a little, so when hosting a show is much different because I can kind of control the subject matter and what's going on. And I thank you guys for watching a little bit in the beginning. If you're watching the first hour, I was playing around with the sizing and the screens because testing StreamYard, but we may go back to Google Hangouts next week just to kind of see if you guys can maybe give us some honest feedback and say what do you guys like better or not. So next Saturday I will go with Google Hangouts, again because I want you guys to tell us and say, hey, what do you like better and why do you or not. So, but Anita, you want to say something before we go?
I was just gonna say I want to meet some YouTubers soon.
Oh,
I know that the treasure hustlers live here, so I'm gonna make some kind of effort into contacting them and hopefully meeting up with them and maybe go dumpster diving. We'll see how that goes.
I've had the opportunity to meet Jason a couple times, and I met Eric once, and a great bunch of people here. Melissa says you want to come to Orlando. Actually, I will be going there December 28th, so I'm hoping to meet a bunch of people. People don't realize when we do the Thursday show, we're kind of planning guests out ahead. I've talked to Casey Rockstar Flipper, and he's made a commitment to do something with me on a show, and also working with Jeremy and George on What the Hell. So it's not, it's not like we're planning these shows 2 days in advance. We're kind of working on these channels. I know myself, I try to plan out 2 or 3 months in advance, to do this, to stay fresh and keep, again, even tomorrow I'm meeting with Chaz in near Harrisburg and driving 3 hours. So, meeting these people in person is you get to meet them and shake their hand and they get to know you, and then they feel more comfortable even coming on your show and supporting you. So, that's always great. So, but thank you guys for coming. I do appreciate it. Like and subscribe to the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. And you guys have a good night.
Peace.
good night.